guys, I love how everyone just... So, after that, our Patreon thing ended, I didn't expect it to stop, and no one said anything about it. So I appreciate you guys for keeping quiet and not being like, oh, there are Kailyn Hunter, and then there are not Kailyn Hunter, because there was like a brief second where we were both on screen, and I said, oh, we're not supposed to be here, and I started the Patreon thing again. But no one said anything about it. It was like that scene in Spider-Man where they all see him with the mask off and they just pretend like they didn't. So thanks, everybody.
And we're just like, they're all dragging our bodies like across, up and over the train.
Exactly.
And when Doc Ock comes in, which is like,
I have never
Arnold.
seen this movie, by the way.
How have you not seen Spider-Man 2?
Just want to throw this out there. I've never seen the movie.
We should watch Spider-Man 2.
So...
I recall it being a good movie. I think you'd like it. Really?
Freak out over Jean. Yes?
You've never seen Pizza Time?
But we'll get
Pizza
there.
Time.
But hello, everyone. Let us just say hello. You guys can hear us, right? Do not pay attention to the YouTubers behind the curtain. Okay, it sounds like that you guys can hear us then. Sounds like we're good. Okay, hello. Hi, guys. Despite the cough that you just heard, I've seen some people in our latest reaction concerned about my well-being. I'm good now. I'm not sick anymore, or whatever the fuck was wrong with me last week. I am okay.
Although, regrettably, I suddenly got a case of hiccups, which is not... That just happened.
But yeah, some of you guys were a little concerned. So if you guys don't know, about 2 episodes ago, I had a Neo-related injury to... I don't even know. I keep saying it was my diaphragm, but really, we don't know what it was. So, anyway, let me play the music again. So yeah, I'm fine now. It was a touch and go there for a minute. I had to take 1 day off school because I was so sick and we thought that I was dying.
Yes.
Or I had COVID, but then I didn't.
You didn't have COVID. Like,
No,
I was
no.
fairly...
And then I had cough suppressants for like an entire week. And my inhaler.
A lot of hauls.
And a lot of hauls.
Cal made me, well, I
and
offered.
I'm okay.
But I went out and I bought, like, a bunch of hauls.
But yeah, I was, after the Neo episode, for like a week and a half, or however long episode 3 was up until now, I started to feel better around Wednesday. That's when I stopped taking the cough medicine.
So you literally, you just saw Neo and part of your body stopped working.
Yeah. I think it's also stress from the play, like, in general.
I didn't think it was stressing you.
Well, it's not, but it's just been, like, physically stressful. I'm not mentally stressed because I don't have any lines. So really, how hard could it be, you would think? And then I forget to take my props off the stage, and then I remember how hard it can be, actually. So yeah, we'll talk about this now, because we're here, I guess. We may as well. Oh god, what was that?
I'm still, I don't know. I'm glad you don't feel strongly about Jean, or else I don't know, you'd have cataracts spontaneously from looking at him.
So next week, from Tuesday all the way to Saturday, I am in a play, which means we will watch the episode still on Saturday. However, we will not be doing the live stream discussion because I will not be here. So we will do the live stream discussion for the next episode on Sunday of next week. But yeah. We've been in Tech Week all week, and it has not been very funky fresh, and now we are done Tech Week and we're going into the play. And hopefully, now that the play's actually happening, I'll have some time off in the morning, but I have been at school for like, from 9 to 5, but I have to leave the house to get there at like 6 in the morning. So, I don't know how many hours that is. 9 to 5, and then plus 2 hours each way to get here and like... to get to school and from school. It must be at least 12 hours, at least, right?
No.
No?
Like 10.
9 to 5 is 8 hours.
Yeah, it's 10.
Okay, yeah. And then 2 hours there 10. And back.
Yes.
So I'm going through it. I've basically been at school 10 hours a day. Luckily, though, Twin was able to edit for us this week. And she's busy next week and the week after, but the things that she edited were so funny. I watched them, Oh my god, I watched them when I got home one night and I was laughing so hard I thought I was gonna piss myself laughing. They were so funny. So if you guys did not watch the videos that we uploaded this week, you probably should watch them because they're funny. The G.I. Joe thing just took me out. Oh my god, okay. We should probably start talking about the episode soon.
Yes.
But yeah, those are all the housekeeping things. Next week, our live stream will not be on Saturday because I have the play.
Sunday.
Break a leg, thank you. Yeah, it will not be on Saturday. It'll be on Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one more time, just for prosperity's sake, is it a Saturday that we are releasing our reaction?
Yeah. Our reaction will be on the Saturday still. It's
Sorry,
just...
I meant analysis.
Which
would be Sunday.
Now you're just confusing them, Hunter. Now you're just causing them confusion.
Listen, if they don't understand it by now, then that's their fault.
Anyway, I realized that I think before I made this in a queue or something, and now I have made the music in a queue again. The play is called Good Mother. It is about a lady and her family that has a stroke, and it's about how the family recovers from the stroke. So that is what the play is about.
Is she a good mother in it, or is it ironic?
Well, is she a good mother, or do we, like, that, maybe that's the existential question. Is she a good mother? Does she mother good? I guess we'll find out. Maybe if you come to the play, Hunter, we'll find out. I'm trying to, because, okay.
I'll come to you, but it's just like,
I don't have a big role in the play or anything, but, it dawned on me suddenly that, what if we worked on this for 10 hours a day, every single day, for the past, 2 weeks and more, because we've been doing this since the beginning of the semester. And, what if we do this and no one shows up? So I'm starting to get a little worried, so I texted my uncle, and I was like, hey, if you and the girls, my cousins, want to come see the play, I don't have a big role, but, it would be nice for the culture, if you want to take the kids for the culture,
I don't know if I...
just the mom has the stroke, not the rest of the family.
Can I go with you?
And we are playing, the ensemble is playing the stroke. So that's...
You're playing the stroke.
Yeah, so that is that. Yeah, you can come with me. You can take the train with me.
Okay.
When it's my call time, you'll just have to sit around somewhere for an hour.
I can deal with that.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm in the ensemble. The ensemble is the stroke. So that's what I'm doing. And I have no lines, but I forget all of my cues.
You just take the train,
anyway.
You don't take the subway?
No, I take the train and then the subway, and then a bus. And
oh my gosh,
so
really?
We're gonna...
Oh, man.
Oh, Hunter, it's almost like I do that every single day and don't complain.
Yeah, listen, first off, you complain. Secondly...
Yeah, I do complain, actually. I should complain.
You do complain.
I know.
I've listened to it with my own ears. Don't gaslight me, Kailyn.
But now you're saying that as if, oh man, that sounds shitty. As if it's not shitty when I do it. It's shitty when you have to do it for a single day. But yeah, the play, I think the play is good. I just hope that people show up or I'll be a little sad, is all that I'm saying.
It'll just be me. I'll be like a soccer mom that gets way into it.
You'll just
you'll
show up
and I'll just hoot and holler.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'll be like, that's my girl!
Not appropriate.
Not
appropriate for the play.
Are you saying that I am too uncouth for the theater?
Yeah, sometimes I get a little worried, but I'm sure you'll be okay. I've been to the movie theater with you and you don't talk, but before we were streaming, Hunter sung the same song, and not even the full song, just the same verse 5 times over and over and over again as I got set up. And so I don't think that you can judge me too harshly.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong happened if I'm singing, Get a Job by the Offsprings to myself.
I know, just don't do it. Cat the play.
No, do you think I'm gonna sit in the theater being like, no way? There's no way.
Listen, sometimes I don't know.
No, what?
Anyway, I'm just teasing. I'm teasing you, Hunter. Don't worry.
So sad. But yes, I will absolutely come, and I'll I'll read a book for an hour, and then I'll pop in. I'll bring a monocle. I'll wear tails or a cocktail dress.
Okay. I like this plan. But anyway, I was thinking about
drive you down
posting the tickets on Twitter, but I also don't want. I don't know. I'm afraid.
Calxiyn. I don't know if anybody's
afraid.
like that.
I don't know. I was like, how many of my viewers live in Toronto and would be interested in coming to see the play? But then but what if we get the people that live in Toronto and they're weird about it? You know what I mean?
You're
I don't
worried
know.
that this is going to be some kind of like Abraham Lincoln thing where they
no,
tap
not
you
like
in the middle
that,
of the
but more
performance?
like, I don't know. I'm just like...
Or they like Phantom of the Opera where they like cut one of the counterweights to the candelabra and it like falls and like
if I
hits you?
posted this on Twitter, would somebody unhinged show up? I don't know.
Man.
So yeah, anyway, if you do live in Toronto and I know you well enough, I'll send you the links to the play, but otherwise... Anyway.
I mean, realistically, they could probably just like look up like university performance of.
No. You have to. There's a special link for the tickets. It's not just.
It's not like.
It's not like out there. Like you have to get the link. So anyway.
But yes, like pick a good day, and I'll come down. We'll do whatever, and then I'll It'll be fun.
Yeah, and so anyway. That's what's going on in my life. We've been talking about this a little bit too long, but it's important. Like, you guys have to understand, RWBY came out at, like, I don't want to say the worst possible time.
An inopportune time
because I think that during the musical would be worse, especially because I'm hoping I actually, like, get a bigger part in the musical, right? But, like, it's been rough the past couple days, like, being at school for 10 hours every single day with a 1-hour lunch break. And that's
but also,
it.
like,
so,
are they working you, like, because
we've been running the show, like, over and over and over again.
But you're just the chorus. You show
but
up
we're in
often?
every single scene.
Really?
Doing things. Like, we're in every single
That lady's
scene.
stroking out a lot. My goodness.
Well, yeah, we're always there.
Like,
we're
what do you do
when
you're being a stroke? What do you do? Are you like, woo, like a wacky inflatable?
No. You'll see. But, like, there are,
How does one act like a stroke?
You'll see.
Okay.
But there are scenes where we're, like, literally, like, one of the girls is, like, pulling on the actress's face, the woman that has the stroke, and she's on the floor for, like, 30 minutes on her knees pulling the face of the lady. So it's a little physically intense. She's also bored. I mean, okay, I'm not bored as much as,
I would get knee pads if I was on the ground there for that long.
I don't want to say I'm bored because I know it's important, and I appreciate. I love watching.
Are you not reading or writing your fan fiction during
No,
this?
because we're in the play. Okay. But yeah, I love watching our director direct. It's just standing there for the lighting cues as a lighting guy figures out the cues is what was like taking pieces of my sanity. Because I'm just someone, I always need to be doing something. I want to feel helpful, I guess.
ADHD.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, you could get me to, like, paint the set and I wouldn't be bored. But just having to be, like, a body and having the light hit me, right? Like, just so they can figure out the lighting levels. It's
so
like, it's a little
do you just have your regular hair? Like how it is now?
They didn't ask me to change my hair.
Are they just like, wow, this scene kid is causing a stroke?
Well, it's not just me. We're all in there. But yeah, and so I don't want to say that I'm bored, but my ADHD is like definitely suffered
suffering slightly
some of this week. When we're actually running the play, though, it's fine because I always have something to do and I need to remember. So running the play is good for the ADHD. It's like all of the other stuff that goes into like lighting a play. That's not the most interesting. Like having to repeat the same cues 7 times to make sure that the lights are okay. And stuff, and like, let's do that one more time. But yeah, I love our director. Like, I love working with our director.
Anyway, speaking of a stroke and destroying a family, this episode.
Yeah, why are we still talking? I can't believe 100 people are listening to.
You're babbling?
Not even that, just like my life right now. Like, listening to my life right now. But it's important. Oh yeah, so before we do actually get into it, I will say that it is Fox and Neo promotional time. Okay? So.
Would you like to? Oh, it
hello?
might. No.
Oh. Okay. Well, we can do it like this.
No, fill it up. I just like the idea of being crushed by a big. Okay, no, I'm getting crushed. We're both getting crushed.
Hello. Yeah. So something that I forgot to do last time, and that now I am doing, is that if there is Fox and Neo art on the internet, we are going to just take a moment and take a look at the Fox and Neo art. So this was by Chai. Their username is highlighted with the pink.
So if I draw a stick figure Fox and Neo smooching on like a napkin with pencil crayons.
Maybe.
Will you, when I take a blurry photo of it on my 3DSi, will you then like
showcase it in the live stream as if it's an art show? Maybe. But yeah, so this is some art that Chai did. Their username is highlighted in the pink. You should take a look at it. I wanted everyone to look at it and love it and like it because I love it and I'm very happy with it. And so I want everyone to see it. And everyone should go
releasing your
retweet
fanfic.
it on twitter.com.
Shouldn't you be, like, hawking your fanfiction
I should be hawking my fanfic, but I don't know if we can post it on YouTube for particular reasons.
Okay.
So I have posted the link. You can go retweet the art. I love it very much. And so, like, this basically comes from the idea that, like, oh, it's the red ribbon of fate, but the red ribbon is the ribbon string of Roman's hat. And I just think that's brilliant. Because I came up with it. So, you know, I think it's great. And you should go retweet it. And I love it very much. And go follow Chai on twitter.com. That is the public service announcement before we actually get into the stream. And so, yeah, I hope that you guys will go check it out and go see it.
I love how even in a episode where Neo doesn't really necessarily appear, you need to
listen, I'm just saying, I meant to showcase it. If there's any Fox and Neo art, we're just gonna take a minute to, like, go and say that it's nice. So,
fair enough.
I hope you guys...
I hope you all look forward to my pencil crayon erotica next
Why Fox
week.
and Neo? That's a very interesting question.
Oh, it's almost like you have a video about that.
We don't need to spend time about that. I know, I was just going to say that.
Okay.
But we have a video about that, so you can go watch the video later. Because if you don't know now, then you should find out. Because it might become relevant in the future.
Alternatively, you could just get a Twitter account, or if you already have one, follow Kailyn on it, and you will quickly learn about the Fox X Neo brain rot, which has colonized your very life for the past year.
There's also a Desert Oasis Twitter account that is just Fox and Neo art.
That is run by you.
Follow that too. Anyway, about hawking the fanfiction. If you guys wanted to happen to see a fanfiction that maybe was written by someone named Calxiyn on Archive of Our Own, you can look up Calxiyn and maybe find something that says it was written by Calxiyn that has the explicit tag on it. Now, I'm not saying that I wrote that, because it has the explicit tag on it, and I don't know if we're allowed to post it in the YouTube chat for that reason.
I don't think so.
So, I'm not saying that it's me, Calxiyn, who wrote the explicit Fox and Neo fanfiction that you might find if you look up Calxiyn on AO3. But if you wanted to possibly find something written by Calxiyn on AO3, what you would do is look up Calxiyn. So I'm not saying that you'll find anything if you look up Calxiyn. But if you did, there may be one finished Fox and Neo fanfiction and a second one that updates every Wednesday. If, by happenstance, someone else named Calxiyn was posting on AO3. Now we can talk about the episode.
We really need to have some kind of, spittin' silly,
what do you mean?
It's like, yeah, here's the buffer where we just kind of talk about
this is the buffer.
All right, on with the episode.
We're done now. We're good. Oh, man. Also,
on the topic of getting fucked, let's watch a whole...
This chat may be a little crazy, so if you guys want to support us, send us a super chat, and then I'll read your message. Otherwise, it will probably get lost, because there seem to be a lot of you, for some reason, listening to me talk about how you might find things under Calxiyn on AO3. But yeah, so RWBY runs away from the house. We don't see how they get out of here, which is interesting.
I imagine that she just, grabs her friends in her little hands, kicks the door down, and hoofs it.
Yeah, I mean, kicks the door down is interesting, because there wasn't a door, but...
Oh, maybe a window? Sure, there's a window.
How's this looking? Can
it's
you guys
a
see
mushroom
this?
house. I'm sure you could, scrape through it with just, a spoon.
Is this looking okay? Okay. It's kind of going into the image. A little bit. What if I move it over? Did that fix it? No. What if I just made sure that some of the paragraphs were not as paragraphy anymore? And just tucked it in.
There was a lot of dialogue in this.
There was a lot. Hunter transcribed this one, so if there are any mistakes, Jean was never a butterfly. That's actually not true. And we can prove it in this episode. So
no, you can't.
Yes, we can try.
Jean Butterfly
We'll try to prove it in the episode. Okay.
Is this John? the butterfly.
Yes. It seems like it could be Jean. Okay.
Because we clearly already see.
But he could have been the butterfly before, and we'll find that out later. So the cat says, I'm so glad the four of you are still the four of you. It's not always the case in the Ever After. And so, yeah, that's interesting, because obviously, like, that's foreshadowing for stuff that happens later.
That, or it's just like, I mean, in the past 4 episodes of the show, we were kind of implied that these sorts of things happen.
But now it's confirmed, which is very interesting.
And this very kind of, because last episode they did the cat did a very meta thing when they talked about, like, oh, these are parts of the story that don't make much sense.
Yeah.
And this time, when they're giving a big exposition about, like, what happens when you ascend in the Ever After, the cat
makes
also
a
goes,
snarky exposition comment.
Yeah, it's just like, because nothing's like, Alex didn't put this in the book. It's like, yes, because exposition's so dreadfully boring.
Yeah, I did think that was funny.
I'm
here just in time for Cal to finish peddling her smut. Maybe you should read it, Riga. You
then
may
I wouldn't
enjoy
have to
it.
start puddling it so
exactly.
much.
I haven't. I gotta get those comments. I need the validate. I've only gotten a couple comments. I like it when the RWBY YouTubers comment on my fanfic and tell me how interested they are. Even it doesn't need to be true. You can just tell it to me to flatter my ego, and I'll just believe you. But yeah, I love the cat's little face here. He's looking very suspicious. I love how Weiss is like, happy place, and then she's like, no more happy place, which I thought was really funny. You're the one who ditched us in the first place, which, by the way, was how we ended up in that mushroom house to begin with, you know, where that delirious caterpillar guy tried to drug us and then was swallowed by a freaking hole in the ground. And I love, like, there's a variety of, like, Blake is pouting, whereas Yang is just like, are you serious? Like,
I also, like, we saw an edit someone did where instead of freaking, they bleeped it, so it sounded like Weiss said fucking.
I know, I don't know.
And I'm so close. I'm so close to my Weiss says fuck.
I don't know if you're ever gonna get it, Hunter, to be honest. But yeah, so now we have confirmation that we thought that maybe the herbalist just, like, took a nap and fell asleep, right? Like, you know what I mean? We thought he made the hole since he also had the mushroom opening powers. It seems like that the world actually swallowed him up and not him. Like, he didn't make that hole. The world made the hole. Which is what I
assumed, but
well, no, some people thought that, like, yeah, some people thought that, like, he just went to sleep in his little house. Like, maybe it had a second, you know, basement apartment.
Some people like to sleep in the basement,
exactly,
you know?
Right? The volume's getting better and better. Yes, I would agree. Okay, let's keep going. So yeah, and the cat, I don't know, man. The cat's so sus all the time. Also, this environment is beautiful. Why? Tell me why. I don't know, man.
Tell me why.
Why is this cat giving, like...
Stop getting thirsty
I'm
the
sorry.
Two-dimensional
I think that
cat.
Somebody has to intervene. Cat. Like, I think that this is getting
bad. A furry
bad.
Intervention. What would, like, a furry rehab?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, they didn't need to do this.
Where they put you in a room with a table,
strange.
and on the table's a pair of cat ears, and you just can't touch it?
Oh, man.
What makes you want to be thirsty for cats?
Kailyn. Alex had a similar reaction.
Tell the group.
Alex had a similar reaction the first time she saw someone return to the Ever After. But it's not how it seems. Well, I suppose it is, but not the way you think, if you think like Alex. And I just love how, like, he's so cheeky and, like, non-answer, and, like, this was, like, he's being evil.
He's sassy.
He's being straight. Like, you know what I mean?
We did bring up...
Like, questionable, like, suspicious right now.
Which I did ask you, and I didn't know if this was a thing online. I haven't been as up to date with the theories, but, like, do you think that the curious cat is the god of darkness?
I still think that he's the boy. And we'll talk more about that later. But...
Because it just, like, they seem to be able to control things, and they seem to just be so knowledgeable about everything.
That's true. I have seen that theory before, so I'm not saying you're wrong. I just wonder why they wouldn't give him the God of Darkness's voice actor. Like, I'm wondering why they would have an entirely new voice actor. That's the only thing I can't rectify
Unless
with
that's
that.
the big switcheroo.
But
you know?
I can't remember RWBY ever doing that before. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, even when a character has supposed to have been someone else, else. They've had the same voice actor.
Like, Jean has the same voice actor later in the episode, even though it's not immediately clear that
even
it's Jean.
with Emerald, when Emerald has that line of dialogue when she's pretending to be Penny, it's Emerald who's speaking, ? I'm not sure about that, actually. But you guys understand what I mean, like, in terms of the actual principle? I don't think RWBY's ever done that, where it's like, you thought it was me, but in reality, it was someone else. Or, like, I don't know. Like, the lady that voiced Pyrrha's mom was Jen Brown. I'm pretty sure. Maybe. They didn't have, like, another person do that. They had Pyrrha, like, Pyrrha's voice actress do that. So, I don't know. It's sort of, I'm not sure if that's indicative of anything, because we don't have a lot of previous evidence to me. Like, but, I don't know. It's hard to explain. You know what I'm saying? Like, usually, even if a character is
Lisa
in
Lavender
disguise.
And Pyrrha. Yeah, but
what
Lisa
does that
Lavender,
mean?
well, because Lisa Lavender was also voiced by Jen Brown.
Taylor voiced the Penny illusion? I'm not talking about that part, though. I'm talking about, like, when Emerald did the feels weird, like, thing. She went back to herself right away. You know what I'm saying? Because the Penny illusion, it makes sense that Emerald would mimic Penny's voice, because it's a hallucination, not just an illusion.
I would also
so
specify that Lisa Lavender is, like, a very minor character, in the same way that Kane Jensen voices May Miracle, but also a bunch of, like, background characters. Like the pot lady.
I don't know. Like, I'm talking about a character who is in disguise, pretending to be not themselves, has never had a different voice.
Yeah.
You know? Like, as far as I can think of, they've never tried to cover that person up. Or, like, the narrator being Salem. They didn't have a different person be the narrator, and then a new person be Salem. Does that make sense? Like, a new person be Salem. They just had it all be the same person. So, we don't have a lot of evidence towards that, but, like, yeah, I think that the Penny hallucination's a good example. They had Penny's voice for the actual auditory hallucination, but then it switched to Emerald when it was revealed to be Emerald, right? And so I feel like that, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I would just wonder if it was the God of Darkness, why they would go through, like, they would have different casting. Especially when, like, people play multiple characters in the show. Like, Kailyn is a bunch of people in the Ever After, right? And so I wonder why they wouldn't just get the God of Darkness to do, like, a more high-pitched voice.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
And Jean, like you said, is also not voiced by a different person.
That's true, but, like, that Jean thing is less of a big reveal than the Curious Cat also being the God of Death.
Yeah, I guess.
Or the Brother of Darkness.
But, like, they could easily explain that away.
Yeah.
I don't know. This may be an entirely different topic and maybe, like, controversial question mark, but I don't like it when a character is pretending to be someone else and they hire two different voice actors to play that same character. Does that make sense? Because if you're a voice actor, you should be able to play multiple, like, you should be able to play multiple roles.
Yeah, but then you see who it is and you're like, oh, and it telegraphs it.
But I just think it's a little, I personally, that's like a pet peeve of mine, because it's almost like, oh, well, then feasibly, that character, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but, like, feasibly, that character, it's like that they couldn't do it. If the same actor couldn't do it, how could the character have done it? I don't know.
Well, I know he's a
god,
but
I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now, but I just appreciate when, like, a voice actor plays the character in disguise and they are able to sound completely different. I have not seen The Owl House, so I'm not sure about that. But yeah, like, again, I can't think of something off the top of my head, but that's just, it would annoy me if they revealed that he was the God of Darkness. For that reason, just because I'm like, but they couldn't get the God of Darkness.
But if the God of Darkness were a butterfly.
Okay, listen. Okay, so Dominic, thank you for the $5 super chat, says, if you think like Alex, maybe a double, like, entendre, if you think like Alex, you will have a character death, but she thought, because she thought of changing. Yeah, I think I agree with that. I would say that that makes sense. Like, if you think like Alex, you're going to have a similar reaction. He's not talking about, like, just the reaction of being surprised that people died, but the similar chemical reaction of falling into the hole and, like, transmutating. And so I think that John thought like Alex, too. Like, I think that that's the implication. So I do agree it has a double meaning. It's like, if you think like Alex, you may be surprised that no one dies here. But if you think like Alex, you will also fall into the hole the same way the caterpillar did. Works better if there are already multiple characters played by the same cast. Yeah, I agree.
That's true. That is true.
And, like, but there are. Like, to an extent.
Yeah, but they're pretty minor characters, you know?
I don't know. Like some people think Little is Penny, and I understand having Taylor McNee voice Little would be a big
Cute.
dead giveaway.
Yeah.
But I would prefer that to having an entirely new person. I don't know. It's.
But
like,
then again, Little probably isn't meant to be.
Yeah. But I'm saying if it was that way, that would kind of, I'd be like, but you couldn't have just gotten Taylor to do it, because I understand that for the fans, that's like a big clue, but I don't know. As an actor, that kind of irks me a little bit. Like, that kind of irks me. That, like, the identity of, like, the actor playing the character potentially being a spoiler is more important than hiring the voice actor back if it's meant to be the same character. Do you know what I mean?
No, I got you.
So, yeah. So that, anyway, that's a whole thing that we don't need to talk about anymore, because I think that we're good. But yeah, I love how they all look at each other. I love this area. I just think that this area is really cool. I like the, bioluminescence, I think that they say. Yeah, so I like that. I like the little look that Ruby gives Little, I thought was cute. I really think that the environments have, like, outdone themselves this volume especially. And I just love this. Like, this is such a nice shot. And I love, like, just the design of the party boat is really, really cool. Yeah, I just love seeing it from above. So we see, like, there are 3 tiers. And then there's sort of, I don't know, maybe this is more of a social gathering situation area. And so I thought that that was cool. I wonder, like this,
a food court.
This would be kind of like a big jump. But I wonder if there's, like...
when have you ever been afraid of taking large leaps?
I guess,
logic,
but, like,
Kailyn?
how many things are, like... I'm sure that we could find maybe a Dante Inferno situation, or, like, 5 layers of hell, or, I don't know, 5 stages of grief, 4. Or something. Like, some sort of thing that is also 5 that could represent the boat.
There, like, 6 layers of 5?
I don't know. But I'm just thinking, because they went into the flower, so I would count the flower as another layer. So, maybe there's something the boathouse represents that could be multiple.
What has 5 layers?
I don't know.
An onion?
An onion? Onions have layers. Ogres have layers. Onions have layers.
A tiramisu?
But I'm just saying, I would be interested to see, like, if somebody can make some sort of connection with, like, what is on these floors and some sort of, like, oh, it's like the stages of grief. Like, I don't fucking know. I'm just thinking. Anyway. In terms of the axe, we'll talk about that later. Don't worry. But yeah, I love how Ruby's like all the little fireflies and the cat's like, come on, like, we gotta go. Do these lily pads, they just stay here? They just chill here. The Jackson 5. Okay, Jackson. That's what somebody said had 5 things in it.
Which one's Michael Jackson? Because you might want to stay away from that one.
Oh, dear. A Parfait?
They are pretty young.
Parfait has layers. Oh, and they're trying to get a Grogurt Parfait.
Yeah.
That's
Parfait does
funny,
have
I
layers.
guess. Okay, so the cat says, gonna explain how the giant caterpillar disappearing into a hole isn't how it seems. And so, then the cat says, when we break or wear out, or simply finish what we are made to do. Let's fix that. What we are made to do. We're called back, but Herb, his heart was too weak to listen. So I gave him a bit of mine, which is strange.
Yes.
Because it's almost like he can resist death for some reason. Like, you know what I mean?
But
like
then again, if that's the curious cat's job to give their heart to people, or is it just to be curious? I don't know.
I don't know, and I think it's a little suspicious.
I think
There's
it's
suspicious
too.
things going on with this cat. So, was his heart too weak to listen to the call, or was he actually strong enough to resist the call? Right? It depends on how you think of it, right?
Depending on your perspective.
Because maybe he is actually strong enough to decide to continue on as himself, versus being called back. Like, they see being called back as, like, ascending. Like, ooh, that's great. But, like, I think
Ooh,
that
great.
staying as you are but changing would actually be the stronger thing to do. And so I think that that's interesting that the cat frames it as a weakness because I think that's suspicious language. And I think we'll come back later, like, you know what I mean? That the cat, like, is not being completely honest in terms of his heart was too weak to listen to the call. Like, I think that it's a little strange. Yeah, I think that we'll talk about that too. Because what the cat does to the bird is very suspect. And we'll talk about that later. I do think the cat's telling the truth about, like, in terms of when we're finished, what we made to do, they disappear and they change and they'll come back. Because Blake says, is he dead? And then the cat says, oh no, like, maybe a little bit, but not at all. So you see Blake's, like, actually worried if they just killed this man, right? Is he dead? Oh no, well, maybe a little bit, but not at all. And I love how he says that. But there's something weird about this, right? Like, maybe a little bit, but not at all. And Yang's like, oh, which one is it? See, this is like...
He's not even trying to hide being nefarious. He's, like, very purposefully
He is nefarious right now. Like, that's a nefarious facial expression. And the way he turns away from them, right?
All cats are a little nefarious.
Now that Herb is properly returned, he'll be fixed up nice and made into the Herb he wanted to be when he was still Herb. Then he'll come back and find his purpose. Could be the same thing as before, but maybe not. So he basically resets, it sounds like. Like, Herb is reborn, and hopefully he'll become the same as he was before.
Which, I'm not gonna lie, wouldn't that kind of be nice if he got a nice, like, brain swab from the universe? I'd enjoy that. Like a mental power walker. No! Okay. I mean, losing my memories and identities, that would be rough. But short of that, I think I'd have a good time.
Yeah, and let's acknowledge the contradiction of ascending when he literally went down into hell.
Yeah, that is kind of...
That is definitely suspicious,
yeah,
I think.
That's why I'm not trusting this cat.
And I think it is rebirth, but it's definitely questionable. What the hell happened to Penny? Because she was already dead before she arrived? I mean, I don't think that counts, because she's just dead.
She's just dead.
You know what I mean? She died in Remnant, so I think that that's not withstand it. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think that the cat saying, like, oh, well, maybe he'll be fixed up nice, and he'll come back, right? And so I think that that's strange. He also implied that being beheaded would be fatal for Team RWBY. Yes. But I think that's because I don't think that Team RWBY can get sucked into the earth, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think Team RWBY can get sucked into the earth and be brought back. I think that only applies to the actual Wonderland residents. As for what happened to Jean, I think Jean chose to change, which may be different from getting sucked into the earth, right?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
So if you can't okay, well, then why did if you still believe that Alex turned into a rabbit, why did Alex turn into a rabbit? Like, why did she choose to? If you choose to do it.
Because she gave up. She couldn't go home, and so she lost all hope.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Why would you choose to be a cat if they told you could be a human or just a cat? Right, Hunter?
I pick a nice happy medium.
I know, but I'm saying, like, Blake said, like, to her current self, past Blake said, you can either be a human or you can be a cat, right? So what if Alex just said, fuck yeah, right? And so I don't know if, I feel like Jean probably met Herb and then changed and made a deal with his past self versus, like, fell into the ground. You know what I mean? Or Jean met the metal lady, because it seems like the metal lady can also offer that as well, based off of what she says in the episode. So I don't think that, well, Jean keeping his memories, that's a little suspect. We don't actually know if he remembers Team RWBY or not. It's a little questionable. We'll talk about Jean later, but I don't think Team RWBY would be swallowed into the ground, is basically what I'm saying. Like, I think that for Team RWBY, since they aren't from here, they would die.
Sure, yeah.
Like, if they were beheaded by the king, they would die.
Well, yeah, yeah, they would.
Or maybe...
I think that they could die, but I also still think that if they lose a kind of hope, they can be changed.
Oh, yeah, they can be changed. I'm not saying that they can't be.
Like, if they got their heads cut off by those guards.
In reference to the actual, the dialogue from the cat saying that if you cut off their head, they may not come back. I think that, like, I don't think that they would die. You know?
Yeah, I got you.
I think that maybe they would just go back to the beginning of the... Guys, just because the story made it back to Remnant doesn't mean Alex made it back to Remnant.
Which I feel like that's the one big, like, what happened to Alex exactly is the big mystery still left. Because we do kind of know what happened to Jean now.
Yeah, the Curious Cat said they're fragile creatures. If you cut their heads, they may never come back. And yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that this may not necessarily apply to Team RWBY, this idea that nothing dies here, and the cat knows that it would apply to them.
Hypothetically...
Like, Team RWBY, if they got their heads chopped off, would die. And, like, even if it meant... He could have also meant they may never come back as in come back as themselves, because the only reason why Team RWBY is how they are now is because they lived a life on Remnant. So even, it could be maybe. You know what I mean? It could be that maybe, if Team RWBY got their heads chopped off, they would arrive here, but that they would change because they don't live on Remnant anymore, so they wouldn't want to be huntresses. So the cat could have also meant that. Maybe they wouldn't die. Maybe they'd get sent back to the beginning, and they would have no more memories anymore, and that's why the cat said that they might never come back. That would make sense, right?
Yes.
So the beheading wouldn't kill them. It would cause them to be reborn, but they would not be reborn as Team RWBY anymore because they wouldn't remember that they were Team RWBY.
Potentially?
Yeah.
That or they're just a corpse, you know?
Right. But I'm saying that if we want to go with the idea that they wouldn't die, it actually makes a lot of sense that the cat would still say they might never come back.
Yeah.
Because the cat didn't say that they'd be dead. All he said was that they may never come back, and they wouldn't come back as themselves because everything that would have formulated them to be RWBY is not here. They couldn't have a repeat.
Well,
RWBY
but that's
could
not
not
totally
be
true, because
RWBY.
Herb still comes back as himself.
He does, because he lives here.
That's true.
But RWBY doesn't live here, so
I think
they
the
wouldn't have the
implication
chance.
is that they're just a corpse. I don't know if they evolved that way.
No, I think that would be interesting, though, that Team RWBY could have been reborn, too. It's just that they wouldn't remember who they are, so they wouldn't be the same,
But
right?
they probably aren't going to die this volume, so we won't find out.
Well, maybe they will die, and we will find out. That could be the scary part, right? If they do die and we do find out. Anyway.
Oh, I love how someone's, like, laying on a throne.
Yeah, then he'll come back and find his purpose. So that's what I'm thinking.
That's the life
I'm like, what if, like, RWBY did die, and then she wouldn't know she was RWBY anymore, so she'd become something else?
Actually, there's a bunch of mouses on those birds as well. Maybe those are the mice that like, go and steal the
stuff,
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, thieves.
When Herb comes back, will he remember anything? And then the cat says, what would be the point of that?
Which is very dark.
Yeah, I know. So that's what I'm saying, too. They wouldn't remember anything, so RWBY wouldn't even know to be RWBY. Even though the heart always remembers, like, roughly. What would be the point of that? Just like Alex, you lot. I know, where you're from, things die, but we're not like you at all. We ascend. Herb will have purpose again. See, and I don't know. I think that this whole thing, it feels kind of cultish. And
It's
a little sus.
a little religious almost.
Yeah, I think that, and this is what we're thinking. So if you guys didn't watch it, you probably should. But we made a theory a couple days ago that the gods made this place. That this is the new world that the God of Light and God of Darkness made. And so maybe that this is what they realized went wrong the first time. That even though they talked about the balance of life and death, they decided to have life and death be sort of different in this new world because they said that they would learn from it. And so you can't have a repeat offense of what Salem went through if no one dies, right? And everyone sticks to their purpose. And there is a permanency in death if you're eaten by the Jabberwalker, but that could have been like a caveat of the God of Darkness to have something grim-like. Like, you know, similar to the Grim to control, or like give a sense of permanency and sort of a fear to make people fall in line. Right?
Perhaps,
fall in line, and then nothing will happen to you.
I think it does help that, like, the Jabberwalker also kind of looks like the Brother of Darkness.
Yeah, and so I think that, like...
With the horns and the creepy, like, Eden stuttering way it moves.
I think that it would be really interesting if, like, this is the god of light and god of darkness's place, and we find out that they decided that in their new world, no one will die because people dying last time caused problems. And so now that this is a brand
they have
new
nothing
way...
there's no angst, no need to challenge our authority,
exactly,
you
because...
won't die.
Exactly. As long as you stick to your purpose, as long as you fall in line, nothing will happen to you. See, I think that the gods did this on purpose. And, like, this is their way of controlling the population. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and
we
they
did go
fear
over
the Jabberwalker.
Yeah. We did kind of go over that theory, both in our last, I believe, a video we released.
Well, yeah,
and
we
also
made
our
the
last
video,
stream.
too.
Yes.
And so, yeah, you guys should watch the video, because I actually think it's very plausible now.
Yeah.
Like, it makes a lot of sense. And that's why the cat even said that sounds like an impractical way to reincarnate. Because they reincarnate in a much more practical way.
Yeah.
And I think that's really funny.
That is true.
Like, now it's funny. Last week I didn't think the joke was funny. Now I think it's funny. Anyway. And so then, Weiss says, that's impossible. Things have to die someday, right? And like, oh, goodness, no. Though I suppose there is a creature that, no, that's not the sort of thing you talk about in polite company, right?
Which,
and so is the Jabberwalker.
Yeah.
And, like, the way he's looking off to the side, he knows he's being sus right now. Like, he knows that he's withholding information. Maybe the Jabberwalker was just a Grimm that fell into the world and changed. I don't know. What was wrong in the first world? What went wrong in the first world was creating things with choice. So they changed it in the Ever After to be purpose. Exactly. They're like toys. If things go wrong, they have to be fixed. What if this predates Remnant? I actually think that it is after Remnant. Because the gods say we will learn from this. Like, we hope that you will too. So I think that this is actually them learning. Not their first prototype before they made Remnant. I think that this is actually, and it would be more interesting to me anyway, if this is what they see as the improvement. Because I do get what you guys are saying. Like, it's kind of like, what if the gods, when they were little, like when they were little kids, this is what they made? Because it is kind of giving, like, child playing with their toys vibe. But I actually think it would be more compelling for the story if this is what they made after. Because they're like, oh, you know what went wrong? Freedom of choice. We can fix that. I actually think that's a lot more, like, malicious. I don't know.
It is very creepy.
Yeah, and, like, anyway. I think that's a lot more, I don't know. That's a lot more compelling to me and very distressing if that's how the gods think like that. Yeah, so let's talk about the market, okay? So I don't know if this, like, we had a theory that maybe the boy could be this bird, but it doesn't seem like it. It seems like this bird is dead. So, unfortunate. But we do still think that the boy is the cat, so. If this is the god's world, why have a connection to Remnant? Well, that's because Ambrosius made it, right? Like, Ambrosius, they told Ambrosius a place like the vaults, wherever they aren't on Remnant. So that's what led them here. As for Alex, we basically theorized that either both of the gods or just the god of darkness was like, you know what would be funny? If we kidnapped a random Remnant girl and brought her here. So that's basically the explanation of why it's connected to Remnant. It was never meant to be connected to Remnant in the first place. It was just, like, Team RWBY made the connection by accident because of what they said to Ambrosius. Like, a place that's not Remnant, but is like the vaults, which are magic, and maybe were created by the gods, question mark, or whatever. Like, a place similar to the vaults would technically be, if it was made by the gods, a place that the gods had made. And so, the connection was accidental. As for how Alex got there, we basically think that Alex is, that Alex was kidnapped by the gods for an experiment to see if the humans of Remnant could be brought here, because the plan, the end game for the gods, is to bring the citizens of Remnant here if they are able to, unify the world, basically. A variable control? Yeah, I guess so. Like, they wanted to bring a human here so they could see whether or not, like, when they bring the humans to Remnant, they could assimilate because they don't want to leave their new creation. They rather like it. So they're like, okay, say they defeat Salem and say they unify the world, right? Why don't we just bring them all here? And they had to run a test for that. Alex was the test. And so if Alex succumbed and turned into the rabbit, our basic idea is that, oh, the test worked.
Yes.
Right? And you guys can watch our video for that. If they left this world too, I don't know, man. If they left this world too, they're so fucked. Why does the bird have maiden eyes, though? I was thinking about that.
I didn't know. Maiden eyes was more fire. They were more just like glowy eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
They were like neon, like lights of a car passing by you quickly.
But,
in a Need for Speed game.
Wait a minute.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't have it right now. His eyes were glowing because he was controlled by the cat.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what it is. It was that he was controlled by the cat was why his eyes were glowing. They weren't glowing before.
Yes.
What is going on? Something
He's selling
is back
cookies.
there.
What?
Something is back there. What is this? Do you see that? Something is moving in the background. Is that just a toy soldier?
That's a butterfly.
No, this.
Yeah, I know. That looks like a butterfly.
I don't think. No, I think that's the soldiers, actually, if you see it more zoomed out. Okay, those are people. I was like, Jabberwalker? No. It's just a toy soldier. He's moving, because those are the pieces, right? Yeah, it's not a butterfly.
Okay.
But yeah, so when someone's controlled by the cat, they have that blue eye thingy going on. It was all very sad. The Red King couldn't cope when he lost to Alex. A crying mess. Thankfully, he was called back and fixed up, and now he's the prince you met. And then Ruby says, fixed up, the prince was worse, which I'm sure was the intention. Also, I love how long he is right here. Right? But yeah, I love Ruby commenting on that, because that was definitely the point, is that the prince is worse.
And also, I enjoy that Curious Cat doesn't even acknowledge, doesn't deny it. It's like, of course, like the prince is supposed to be nice.
Right? He's supposed to play the game and win,
it's like
matter
that. It's
what.
like that thing of I could fix him. I could make him worse.
Yeah. And I enjoy that, because I think that has interesting implications, especially because it's like Ruby almost gave up, but the version that she turned into, would that version be worse? Is the version of Jaune worse, right? Like, that opens up the question of, if people change, it may not always be for the better, right? You need your memories and experiences so you can grow to be a better person, not a worse person, right? And I think that that'll definitely be relevant later. I think that that's a very important thing that Ruby says and acknowledges here, because, what if you could put away Ruby Rose like it was an old coat, right? We still haven't quite gotten that yet. And so I think that, Ruby is supposed to say no, but she almost said yes. And so I hope that, we kind of get a full circle moment where she realizes that, succumbing is actually worse. Succumbing and changing in this scenario is not necessarily a good thing, right?
Yeah.
So I think that'll be fun. That'll be interesting. But yeah, and so that's why he cheats when the Red King didn't. But that doesn't explain why the Red Prince was so much meaner, right? Well, the prince may no longer remember Alex's deception. After ascending, the heart rarely forgets. See, so that's interesting. He doesn't remember Alex, but he remembers that he hates humans, I guess. We have a rooster teeth back there.
Yeah, I enjoyed that, a rooster with teeth. That was cute. I liked that. That made me giggle. Because when we were watching Volume 2, we kind of noticed that there was a lot. It was way more internal gags and inside jokes and quotes and whatnot from the larger Rooster Teeth pantheon of shows or memes or personalities and whatnot. And they really stopped doing that after the second one. So even little things like that you really wouldn't notice, it's cute. I enjoy it.
I wonder.
Oh gosh.
I don't want to be that person.
You've never been upset at being that person. You've never been oh God, Hunter, I can't stay up at night because I'm that person. You saw the opportunity to be that person every single time.
Oh man. Yeah.
And you threw yourself at it willingly. Continue.
Okay, guys. Tell me what you think of this. I think this is actually very interesting. What if, in the future, they find Neo, and the cat says, hey, if you want that girl to stop bothering you, I could change her. I could change her heart and affect her purpose, right? And they're given that choice that, now that Neo is subdued, they could change her and make her forget what she went through. But Ruby says no, because she thinks that is that fate is worse. She's starting to realize that the cat is being manipulative, and when the cat changes people, he's not giving them the choice to change anymore. He's forcing them to change.
And is that you viewing the Neo being turning a
well, not turning not even turning into a good person, but that Ruby's presented with the choice that they can finally get rid of Neo and take the easy way out by getting the cat to change her heart. But they actually say no because they recognize that that is like a villainous aspect of the Ever After to have done. And I think that would be very interesting if like RWBY realizes that. And so she demands that Neo stay intact and try to work things out with her as she is. And maybe Neo realizes that too. Like, it could be a very interesting mutual respect moment, I guess. If, like, they have her in a position where she's down and the cat is like, I can make this all stop. I can just change her heart. And, like, but taking the easy way out is not what a hero does. Like, that's not heroic behavior. Taking the easy way out and making your enemies forget everything, right? And so I think that would be interesting if they actually say no to the cat because they realize that there's something suspicious about that. Like, there's something suspicious about what he's offering, and it made the prince worse because his heart remembered, but he couldn't find where the feeling came from. Right? So she probably wouldn't forget about her revenge. She just wouldn't know why she's doing it anymore. Yes. Right? Like, that could end up to be a worse situation. So I think that would be very interesting if they did something like that. Like, maybe they're like, they tell the cat no because at this point they've caught on and realized that what the cat is doing is like, what went wrong? Like, what went wrong? But there was nothing about Ascension in the story. See, and I think that's interesting. Of course not. Exposition is terribly boring. Even this conversation on the whole was rather tedious. And I quite enjoyed
that was a cute
the conversation. We're assuming the cat's powers work on people that are not on Remnant. Yes, I am. That's it. Yes, I am assuming. Thank you. I will assume again.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't work.
Well, then wouldn't that kind of throw a wrench into your whole, like, Neo's thing?
No, because it would be empathy for the villains.
I guess so.
Like, respecting
but like
Neo's memory of
Yeah, but
Roman.
also, like, if Curious Cat can't work, or I guess even work on creatures, so they would work at that, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so I think that would be interesting, because the whole problem that Neo has right now is that she thinks that RWBY killed Roman, right?
What a problem to have.
And so, wouldn't it be interesting if, like, RWBY decides to keep the integrity of Roman's memory intact when she can choose to make Neo forget about him? Because that would almost be like keeping Roman alive in a meta, symbolic way. And so I wonder if, like, that could be why Neo decides not to hate RWBY anymore, because she realized that RWBY had the choice to kill Roman effectively again, right? By killing Neo's memory of Roman, but chooses not to. And that could be what makes Neo change? I don't know. I think that's sort of like, like there's something, I think that there's something to that, because it proves maybe that, like, RWBY never wanted to kill Roman, because in the choice to kill him again, on a meta level, she keeps him alive. Storytelling! Storytelling!
Cha.
Anyway, yeah, so let's talk about the fact that the story doesn't mention Ascension. People keep saying that Alex, why would RWBY care about Roman? It's not about RWBY caring, though. It's just about, like, RWBY being heroic in terms of how she deals with Neo. It's not about, like, it's not about RWBY caring at all. It's just about, like, RWBY making that, like, a more heroic choice compared to taking the easy way out and letting the cat just, like, memory wipe her. Anyway, people are talking about Jaune. We'll talk about Jaune. Yeah, so people think, oh, but Alex must have made it back to Remnant because she told the story. Who told the story? But there was nothing about Ascension in the story, right? Which kind of makes you question, did Alex actually write the story? Like, everybody thinks...
That's true. I mean, I think the remaining mystery of what exactly, like, who Alex is, what she did, how she got the book out, how it ended for her. Yeah.
I just think people are taking the fact that the story is in Remnant at such face value.
That
Just
is
because
true.
it's there does not mean she escaped. Like, people are taking that as, like, a word of God that she must have gotten out of there. But, like, her story is inconsistent, and her story doesn't seem to be telling the entire truth. And I think that when we acknowledge that, we realize that something is wrong.
Maybe she had, like, editors, and the editors were like, I don't know, this Ascension shit's kind of dumb. How about we just, like, cut that and keep it with, like, the sassy cat and the king that you beat up and the rascally raccoon.
Changing Nia would also free her of the responsibility of what she did wrong. Yes, and I think that's also kind of important, too. I kind of like that.
How sad would you be if they changed Nia?
What do you mean, changed her? Like...
If how she ends is that she gets sucked up by...
The void?
Yes.
And I would have to see that. I would have to see what exactly is going on with that. Time? Yeah, maybe she hasn't gotten out yet. Time may not be linear. Yeah, the time fuckity-wuckity is also interesting. We have no confirmation that Alex even wrote the story. Exactly, Dara. That's what I'm trying to say. We don't even know if she wrote the story. Why do we think that she got out just because it says so? Right? You know what I mean? I think if this world was made by the gods, I think that the story's propaganda. And we talked about that in the video too. But this idea that, like, all of the children on Remnant love this story, right? And so one day when the gods bring everyone here, they'll be so delighted because of all the propaganda they read. And that's why there's nothing about ascending or any of this bullshit because, right? Like, you know what?
That might spook him a little bit.
That may spook him, right? So I think that the propaganda thing is very interesting.
It's effective. Very effective.
The person behind Alex is an Ozpin reincarnation? Yes. Maybe.
Okay, no, we need to just go on what happened with the actual episode, because now we're getting in the weeds about exceedingly strange theories.
But, like, we don't know. We don't know yet. I think the boy is the cat. And, here's the other thing. It seems like that everyone has a guide, because the blacksmith lady says, "Are you her guide?" Yeah. As if that's something that, like, happens to everyone, right? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know, like, the way that she said it, so I wonder if the rabbit is the guide for Jean, and then Little is the guide for Ruby, and then the cat is the guide for the rest of Team Ruby. Like, not Ruby, right? And so I think that that would be very interesting, because, like, the boy could be the cat, and then the person with Jean could be Alex, and it would be a nice parallel if everyone has a guide. You are not immune to divine propaganda. Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. Okay. Let's keep going. I'm not reading all the ingredients. They did post them on Twitter. Ruby's like, I'll never remember all that, which is like, yes, Ruby. You have your scroll. You could write it down.
When I was writing those out, I was like, oh, son of a bitch. Because it was like, I mean, there was only like 4, but it rattles off so quickly. And one of them was like a whole spicy potato, which genuinely sounds very tasty. I would eat a whole spicy potato. And one of them was lint off of a griffin sweater.
Yeah, there were some interesting ingredients.
A bushel of grumpy ivy. Yes.
But yeah, and so the cat's like, I'll get everything else. Just go get the nose hair on the 3rd level. I think he sent Ruby here on purpose. Because he could have gotten anything. But he sent Ruby up to the 3rd level to get that. And I think that that's suspicious. Like, I think that he sent her up there on purpose because he could have literally asked her for anything. He wanted them all to go to the blacksmith lady, I think. And then he came here instead, right? Like, and then they decided to come with him, right? Attention span? I mean, Ruby could have wrote it down. Butterfly Jean? Yeah, we'll talk about that, guys. Okay. But yeah, I love Yang's little eye roll. Like, I guess we better go with the cat so they don't get distracted by a shiny doorknob and never come back, which is a reference to Alice in Wonderland. Like the doorknob that lets her in.
Okay.
Right? Like the door. And then Blake says, I'll go with you. And Weiss is just like, yeah, get me as far away as possible. But, like, Little stays with Ruby, right? Oh, yeah, I love the cat. Like, all the cat animations are really good. I like Weiss hopping on top with her arms crossed. I thought that this scene was just cute. I like them all, like, sitting here.
Oh,
like, Blake and Yang are sitting together. I thought that was cute.
I also like how distressed that little leaf creature is. They don't describe what that leaf creature is, but they're adorable.
Yeah, try transcribing a whole episode by ear, Ruby. Yeah, I know, right? Like, Ruby's like, I'll never remember all that, and then we transcribe the entire episode by
That's not even
ear.
the worst thing. Like the Jabberwalkies, I couldn't understand them, and then the pot lady says something at the end, which I still have no idea what it was.
Yeah, but anyway.
But we'll get to there.
Here's something interesting. So the mice steal the cheese when this thing's not looking. Right? Because that's like fair is fair.
Distressed leaf creature.
But like
noises.
Ruby doesn't do anything about that because I guess she doesn't see. But I think that's kind of interesting that like.
Well, she can't understand the leaf person.
Right,
know?
but she can see. She could have if she looked. But I think it's interesting that they're like, I don't know. Like, is there a greater metaphor in the idea that there are bad things going on in the world, but Ruby isn't paying attention because she's so focused on her own shit? I don't know. I'm just asking.
Perhaps.
Like, I'm not saying that makes Ruby bad or anything, but, like, there was thievery going on behind her, and she just did not notice.
She's stealing whores. All of them.
Mm-hmm. She's busy. Breath of the Wild? Yes. Yeah, I think the cat set her up there. I think the cat set her up. I think that the cat did that to Ruby on purpose. Also, Little is the only thing keeping Ruby alive right now.
Yeah, just like cute little narcoleptic baby.
Also, I love them again. They're just here.
They're just gonna
remember
fall
when
in
I was
love,
like,
huh?
Neo?
Oh my goodness. Maybe it is. Well, Neo does attack later, so.
You know what's interesting though? This character has like God of Light and Darkness color for some reason, which is random.
Right.
But like, I don't know.
Big carrot. I'm still upset that I'm never gonna see my giant enemy crabs.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, see, all of the shops, like, I don't know, it's weird. She walks from the market, and then all of the shops become the same store, and it's a little strange. Like, everything just disappears and becomes all of the same, and it's really interesting, right? Because then suddenly, is stealing a loaf of bread to save your sister's son a crime, Javert? Oh my god. Oh my god.
I really want to see Mice Les Miserables. Les Miserables.
Javert versus Jean Valjean song. I need to look at the lyrics.
Your time is up and your parole's begun.
Yeah, where is that?
I wanted
the confrontation, that's what it is.
I wanted to watch that movie with you, but you said it wasn't allowed.
It was okay.
Okay, I want to watch a version of Les Mis with you.
Where's the line about the loaf of bread? I need to find this. Oh my god. Believe in me what you will, men like me can never change. I feel like that may have been swapped. You know nothing of my life, all I did was steal some bread. Like this whole song. I don't think that this is the right melody for this song. My duties to the law, you have no rights, you know nothing of the world, come with me, 24601, you would sooner see me dead, and they're just going back and forth. Oh my god, anyway, so yeah, they stole some cheese. I can't remember how the melody goes anyway. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know Les Mis. You're the one that read the book.
Okay. Controversial opinion, but all of Les Mis sounds the same. Because, like, it just all sounds the same. Because they use the same character lip motifs all the time.
The only three musical things I know is, like,
but it's sort of annoying.
My name's Chevron.
I know, when they use that same thing all the time. Like, you know what I mean?
Then there's Fight for Your Right to Be Free. And then there's Prisoner, your time is up and your parole's
I know, when they use it so much, like, how would I know? Nailed it better than the movie did, Howell.
Fuck you, Gerard
I couldn't remember how it went anymore.
Move over, Spartacus. We're here now.
Oh,
no,
man.
He was Leonidas, not Spartacus.
But yeah, like, all of the music is the same in Les Mis, so I'm sorry, I can't remember.
I really want you to have, like, your own unique, like Cal spicy music.
Guys, I don't think this is supposed to be a rose, it's a leaf.
Yeah.
With a sword in it.
Yeah. But, like, roses have leaves. Roses have thorns.
I guess, but I'm pretty sure it is a leaf.
Anyway. Ooh, is there a RWBY character with a weapon called Thorn?
It is just a leaf.
Is there a RWBY character with a weapon named Thorn?
Maybe? I prefer Sondheim. Exactly. Like, if you're gonna...
Okay, theater gaze, calm down.
Okay. So yeah, let's talk about this. Does that one interest you? I thought it was lost forever. How do you have it? Nothing, no one is ever truly lost. Also, Penny has multiple swords, but I guess we'll just ignore that right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's being all cryptic, but it could have just been another sword.
It landed on my head, it bonked me, and it hurt terribly.
And she says, and what of you? Are you lost? No, my friends went somewhere else. And I think it's interesting. She saw Penny's reflection in the weapon.
Oh, that's Penny's weapon.
Yeah, but like Dar earlier in the chat said something about oh my god. What?
Why did I just snap you out of your... Are you okay?
Yeah. Oh, Dar said something about like what if Neo came in here and saw Roman's cane? Like that was it. I just totally forgot.
That'd be cute.
Okay.
I don't know, do one of them kind of look like that?
Can we talk about this? Y'all were on my fucking ass for being like, oh, Calxiyn's not the butterfly.
This is what we sound like.
Know, but
all of you fuckers in the chat sound like Goofy.
She's making a butterfly wing right now. Like, what do you think that she's doing, right?
Oh, so wait, do you think she made She
made the butterfly.
How did she take Jean, melt him down,
yes! And then the butterfly turned into
old Delphi Jean?
Yes!
Are you familiar with the Occam's razor?
Jean isn't the butterfly? Yes, he is! He just stopped being the butterfly.
So if at the end
and we are going to talk about that.
At the end of
she's rebuilding her, Hunter. She's building her right now.
Okay, well then, so are they, maybe that's the god of light. You know? Because previously I had the idea that maybe it was Summer. Because Summer Rose went off to some weird place. You see a flash later in a sword that kind of looked like Summer, but it might just be Ruby. And then her eyes are gone, and she had silver eyes, and maybe Salem stole their eyes. I don't know. But like, that could be the. But like, it's like they're shown in light. You know,
she's rebuilding Herb right now. So I think
could be god of light.
That it's. Yeah, sure.
So but then she wouldn't rebuild. She would take Jean and then hammer him out and like turn him into like Dilf Jean. So she wouldn't be making.
But he was the butterfly first.
So if at the end of this, the butterfly thing is totally wrong.
Yeah.
Like, how are you emotionally going to go through that?
But it's not wrong.
Well, it's not wrong nor right, is it? It's Schrodinger's batshit Ruby theory. Because none of us know if it's correct.
Okay.
But it's not right. It is a theory. A Calxiyn theory.
You know what?
And why
don't we just ask someone? Like,
who?
Can Eddie just tell us that the butterflies
Eddie Rivas in this?
aren't because, the writers...
This man has children!
The writers never say no!
He has a full-time job!
Like, remember when the portrait meant nothing? They just said it meant nothing, right? So, if the butterflies meant nothing, and they were not John, they would just tell us. But, if the butterfly was John... And they said, that's a spoiler question in response to me asking about the butterflies. That would mean that I'm right.
Eddie Rivas is a busy person. He doesn't have the time to be fielding all your weird questions.
I know, I'm just saying. I know he's out there. The butterfly means something. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're not going to tell us because it means something. And what it means is that when people go through the thing of changing, they are a butterfly and then they turn into the thing that they are.
Okay. Can the real Eddie Rivas please
It's not Jean anymore. It was Jean, is my point. The butterfly was Jean the whole time. And then it turned into himself. That's what happens. They turn into butterflies and then they pop out and turn into themselves.
I want you to go to like the like in Niagara Falls, the Butterfly Conservatory, and just go up to like some biologist that works there and be like, "Excuse you, man, which one of this is a person?"
It's not just Dar though, or it's not just John though, Dar. It's everybody. Everybody. I'm not saying that this is Jaune right now. I'm saying that the Jaune in previous episodes, like the butterfly in previous episodes. How did he change back, though? Butterflies are the symbol of change. How would Jaune remember RWBY? We'll talk about that later. I'm not saying that this butterfly is Jaune. I'm saying that this is proof that the metal lady makes the butterflies. And so I'm saying that in previous episodes, when we saw that yellow butterfly, it was Jaune. Before. Exactly. The butterflies are the transitional phase when they change. And so this isn't Jaune right now, right? But I'm just saying that she clearly built, like she's making something, and there's a butterfly wing, which is a little suspicious. So I think that, like, in previous episodes, that yellow butterfly that we saw that the cat was trying to bite at was Jaune. Everyone is a butterfly. Everybody that goes into the hole is a butterfly before they pop back up into what they're supposed to be.
Anyways, moving forward from butterfly talk.
But why? Jaune shouldn't remember Team RWBY if he ever changed? Well, see, that's going to be the interesting thing.
He might have just aged.
Does he remember Team RWBY? Or did somebody tell him that they are Team RWBY? You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like, that'll be an interesting thing to see.
I just love that this is like the DILF crafter. Like if they crafted Jaune.
But yeah, I think that she is the remaker. Like when she remakes the people. You know what I'm saying?
If you are correct about this butterfly nonsense, I'm gonna like run upstairs and scream.
But I think that it makes some sense.
Like I guess
it makes that the cat was the butterfly, remember?
Well, because I just thought that it would change shapes and like transform, but that was just a brief idea.
How would anyone tell him that? Because the king wants them arrested and banished, so he could have heard about it.
This is a reach longer than MJ's final dunk in Space Jam.
That's the other thing too, is that the cat also said, like, your heart remembers, even if you don't. You know what I mean? So maybe he can remember Team RWBY, but not the personal memories he had with him.
He is all the better.
Like, that could be the thing. But yeah, I think that the blacksmith lady is, like, reforging. But
normally
like,
when you go off on your...
He could remember, like, what if he... I think that the chat's right, because the way that he said Team RWBY was a little suspicious.
Yeah,
so I think that he may remember Team RWBY, but not
his
who
relation
they are,
to them.
not his relation to them.
Because he didn't seem like terribly, unless he's just like old and jaded.
And he named the pet Juniper, so that's what I'm saying. I think that maybe...
Yeah, he might have lost a bit of himself. I
don't think they've told anyone they're Team RWBY, though. Yeah, maybe not. But I think
I think we can talk more about Jaune when we get to
yeah, but I think the second thing makes more sense. That he remembers Team RWBY as, like, a fact, but not his actual memories of Team RWBY.
Because of his heart for whatever.
Why did the curious cat chase and attack the butterflies? Yeah, exactly. Exactly, chat.
Because he's a cat.
And he remembers Juniper,
that little leaf person
not...
was also shaking the little, like, leaf thing at them, and they were like, because they're a cat.
And he may not remember Juniper, but he remembers, like...
The word.
Yeah. And so I think that, like, he doesn't... Like, I think he doesn't fully remember his relationship to them. He doesn't seem normal. You guys are wrong. Something's wrong. I think that he's not normal. I think that something's the matter. But, like... The other thing is, guys, the memory loss thing only happens if you fall into the hole. But I don't think transforming and falling into the hole is the same thing, right? And so it's possible that you could still choose to change but keep your memories. You know what I'm saying? Because falling into the hole is against your will, right? But choosing to change, you may be able to keep some of your memories if you decide to change. Right? And so I think that that's interesting. Like, I think that...
Okay, Cal, we've at the point where you've ranted for so long, we're losing viewers, so I think we should speed up.
We're not losing anyone! This is the highest...
Do you see that little bump at the end there?
What do you mean? What bump?
Little bump right there. Little bump. I gotta catch it early.
There's no bump. What are you talking about? Hunter, that was before.
I know. No, that's not true. No, because I've been watching it.
No, it wasn't all the way pulled out. What you were seeing was like this half of the graph, Hunter.
No, that's not what I was seeing.
You were seeing this because it wasn't all the way pulled out, right?
But if you pull it all the way out, I'm still correct because there's still a... Anyways, moving forward.
You.
Oh, what the... Okay.
Now you're talking about how we're losing.
I am offended. It's fine. Because the thing is, Cal, is that I believe in you. I believe in you.
But like, we're still talking about Jean. What is the problem?
I believe that there might be something to it, but it's a bit of a reach.
What
also,
do you mean? What
that
part,
one sword?
What is the reach? We're talking about how Jean may or may not have his memories.
He turned from Jean to a butterfly to a dilf.
Yeah, but like we were
and he just magically turned like that.
We weren't talking about the butterfly thing anymore, though. We were just talking about Jean and his memory
relation
loss.
to the. Okay, yes, but
so
the
you're coming in a little too late because we're just talking about whether or not Jean has fallen in a hole or whether or not if you choose to change, maybe you can keep some of your memory. But I think that there's something wrong with Jean. Like I think that he's not normal.
Yes.
I think he's only. I don't think he actually remembers them. I think he just remembers the essence of things. He seems like he's not fully...
He's not fully there.
There at all.
And right, because he's very impersonal, because it would make sense that he would, like, scream, like, oh my goodness, like...
Yeah, like, he's not excited at all.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just a fact. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I
don't think that what happened is that, because he was the last person to go in.
The cat said you lose your memories if you fall into the hole. If he chose to change, we don't know what happens.
I think that what happened, I don't believe that what happened was that he's just aged naturally. What I think is he woes down and that he felt he failed. He like almost gave up hope, like RWBY almost did, that he believed he wasn't a good enough huntsman. And
exactly.
Like, oh, so we will reborn you as a confident huntsman.
Yeah,
right?
and that's what I think happened
And that's what I kind of like, because when you look at him, and I feel like we should have saved this conversation where we see him, but when you look at him, he almost kind of reminds me of a Crow.
Yeah,
because he's just kind of like rugged, kind of like very like strong, but very worse for wear, weathered individual, and it looks a lot like, so it's almost kind of cute that his idea of like what a huntsman was Crow.
Well, I don't think it's just Crow.
But like but you know, it's the idea.
I don't think it's direct. There's not a direct reference to Crow in terms of how he looks.
I know, but it was an idea.
I understand what you mean.
I also like that he kept his. Oh no, we'll wait till we see him.
But I think that he did choose to change in some capacity. Like I think he took the deal with his other self and his purpose sort of changed.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll talk about Jean, but I don't know. I think that like Jean has just aged and nothing else happened. I think that other things definitely happened.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I think that the metal lady is remaking people. Like, I think that that's sort of her job. And so...
And I wouldn't be surprised if this is, like, the Brother of Light.
I guess.
Because, you know, he is kind of mysterious. He appears and then he leaves. He's, like, very bright and yellow.
Yeah. If John faced Herb, he would have had chosen to change. If he had faced the Blacksmith, he would have chosen to change. Yeah, exactly. That's basically what I mean. Like, I'm wondering if Jean chose to change, and that is different than the Ever After.
So do you notice how in that background you see that kind of, like, white staff looking? Do you wonder if maybe that's Romans?
Well, it doesn't look like Romans, though.
Yeah, but neither does... But, like...
The scythe maybe...
But like, neither does, because it looks like they can transform the look of things, because RWBY was holding Penny's sword, but then it turns into Alex's dagger. So maybe a similar thing is occurring here.
But like the question becomes, we would have to see if that's actually Summer's weapon or not. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the white...
No, yeah. But I'm saying, like, if this is Summer's real weapon, there's no reason to believe any of the other items are in disguise. However, if this is not Summer's real weapon and doesn't look like Summer's real canon weapon that she has in the show.
But though we don't know what that is.
Like, yeah, so basically we don't know. Like, I see what you're saying though, Hunter, that like maybe it is in disguise, but...
Just an idea.
Yeah, I think that's interesting, but it basically hinges on whether or not that this is true to what Summer's weapon actually looks like.
That's true, but then again,
if it's Crescent Rose
my
in
basis
disguise,
is
I think
going
you're
off
right.
of not of that being Crescent Road, but rather that sword, Penny Sword, transforming into the dagger.
Yeah,
that's what I'm basing.
I think that wasn't like Penny Sword changed into it. I think it was like swapped. I don't know. I think that like something fuckety is happening.
I don't know. Perhaps.
But yeah, like I wonder though if I think that is Crescent Rose in disguise, and she just doesn't recognize it, and that's gonna be like the point. But yeah, the blacksmith appears with John in the intro, so I think there's a very high likelihood that he met the metal lady and decided.
I bet you next week will everything will sort of make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'll explain what happened to Jean in some capacity. Summer doesn't have a cannon weapon. Yeah, so there's basically, we don't know. And that's the hard part, right? Are you her guide, little one, right? And so that's what I'm thinking. That's like a very, I don't know.
It's like, huh?
It's
what?
an interesting
Hello?
question, right? Because I sort of wonder if everybody does have a guide then, and the rabbit is, like, what if the Jabberwalker is Neo's guide? And, like, it has kind of defaulted to that. And I think that's interesting.
And then the curious cat is Weiss's, Blake's, and Yang's?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Alex, guys, is that maybe she wasn't a huntress. So, I know the dagger looks basic, but maybe she wasn't a huntress. She was just a person with a knife. Like, you know, like some people just have knives, right? And I like what Little says. Ruby's my friend and I want to help her get home, even though I don't know where that is or how to get there. And so, yeah, that's Little's explanation, right? And so, yeah, we see now, again, the butterfly wing thing. And we also get to see her face.
Yes.
Which is
eyeless.
Strange.
Kind of distressing.
Yeah, and there's something going on here that looks similar to another character we saw this episode, like the little eyelash thing. I think it was the cat or somebody else that had something similar going on. But yeah, Alex could have just been a regular person, and so that's why her weapon doesn't look too crazy. But I think that, like, if that axe is Summer's, it's supposed to be a reference to, like, the woodsmen in the Little Red Riding Hood story. But yeah, and so we actually do get to see her face here, and she is hollow. So I think that it's interesting in terms of what you're saying, Hunter, that, like, what if this is a silver-eyed warrior that turned into,
But
right?
I'm leaning away from the silver-eyed warrior or the potential. Well, because the way they, I don't know, the way I'm seeing connections with maybe Summer, I thought maybe it's Summer, because then again, you know, Summer did just sort of disappear, and we don't know where.
I still think that, like...
But I'm kind of leaning toward the idea that they are the god of light.
I mean, I just think...
She's fashion.
I think that, like, Summer just died. Like, I think that's... Well, not that she just died. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I think that Summer is a hound creature. I think, you know,
that's true.
I think that what they're going to do, honestly, is that Summer is the wyvern that's on the school. I think that that's what they're going to do.
That would be fascinating.
And that's why Cinder can talk to the wyvern, and it seems to listen. This is your new home now. Cinder says to the wyvern.
If you're right about that all these years out,
so I
that'll
actually
be
think
impressive.
that if we get that far, Volume 10, no green light yet. But
I hope so.
I actually think that Summer is the wyvern, and that's why Cinder can talk to it as if it's kind of sentient, because Salem could talk to the hound like it was sort of sentient, right? So there's that. It would kind of be ironic. If she's a Grimm, why is her weapon in the Ever After? You guys take everything so literally. It may not be real.
Might not be her
it
weapon.
It may be a hallucination.
It might be Crescent Rose. It could be a dozen things we don't know. You don't come for us for answers. You come for us for carpet bombing
I don't know.
theories.
I just think it's sort of funny. Like, the past couple weeks, chat has taken everything so literally. Jean is the butterfly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everything is so
that
literal.
is what you were saying, arguably. Like, that is what you were arguing.
Everything's so literal, and like, oh, but how did Summer's weapon get here? How did Alex send the story back to Remnant if she never left? And I'm like, guys.
Okay, but you actually did say that about, like, there was a yellow butterfly, and you were like, that's John. Like, that is what you were arguing. You know what I mean in terms of people saying, but how is it John? Like, how did the story get back to Remnant? How did her weapon get here? Like, why are you guys being so literal? Like, you know what I mean? That's not what literal means.
But,
they
like,
just want the answers.
But, like, in terms of, like, that like it needs a scientific explanation. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I mean.
Explanation.
Like, an immediate, there has to be a way of science that this is Summer Rose's factual weapon. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that, like, it's a little bit more, like, mysterious. You know what I mean? Like, it's all Wonderland logic.
Yes.
It has to make an internal story logic, but, like, the logic is that it's a hallucination, and she's just seeing Summer's weapon. You know what I'm saying?
If
like,
that is Summer's weapon, we don't know if it's Summer's
exactly.
weapon.
It's like it's Crescent Rose, but she just sees it as Summer's weapon, right? Like, I think that it's just there can still be an explanation.
I love how we see like like Penny's sword turns into this dagger, and we see Alex's reflection.
Alex does not look happy with her, by the way. Like,
yeah,
Alex
and it's like
looks
we have
kind of pissed.
Yeah, and we have like no theories about this. No.
Well, I didn't say I didn't have any theories about this. I mean, like,
about what are you gleaming from this? Other than yes, she doesn't look terribly happy. Not a happy camper, that Alex. Maybe she's trapped somewhere.
I think that Alex is. This is giving like, don't be a fucking idiot. Yeah, it's an illusion. Exactly, it's being shown to her. That's, you know, like, it can make story sense. That's the sense. I think she's pissed at RWBY because RWBY's fucking up something. I don't know. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. She doesn't look scared. She looks, like, angry at RWBY.
Mm-hmm.
Alex sounds like the kind of person who's generally pissed. I don't necessarily agree with that.
I don't know. I mean, it's implied that she's sort of feisty in the book, although we still don't know what they're like as a person, so.
I mean, like,
we'll see her later, I guess.
I don't know, because when we actually see her in the OP, she's not angry. She doesn't have that expression. So, like, anything the OP has given us has just given indication that she's normal. Like, she was confused when she woke up on the beach, right?
Yes.
So, I think that I don't think this is a hallucination. Well, I'm saying like an illusion to a certain extent. Not like the herbalist smoke. More like, you know, like extra dimensional space sort of thing. Like, there's something weird going on. Right? And she doesn't recognize Alex, so she's not immediately, like, spooked by it. But yeah, that weapon moves itself, by the way. But I think that this is Crescent Rose. RWBY just doesn't recognize it right now. Yeah. But what's weird is that, okay.
So is that RWBY or is that Summer?
That's an interesting question.
Because there's almost like little lapels there. And did you bring up the photo of Summer Rose?
I didn't, but we can all go look for it. We don't need to go get it.
Can I grab my phone to look that up?
She doesn't look like that, so that's all you need to know.
But she had the white hood down, and I want to know if she had those, like, lapels.
She didn't.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the thing about this. Could it be Summer? Yes. But I don't actually think that that's Summer. I think that this is RWBY No. I think that the chat's saying that's Summer. No.
Listen, if there's one thing I know, it's that Jean is a butterfly, and that's not Summer.
Where are you going?
I'm grabbing my thing because
Why?
I want.
I'll just pull it up. Okay. Fine. If you want to see it, I'll pull it up.
It's just the fact that everyone's like Summer.
But it's not. It's not her clothes.
Yeah.
She does not have those things on her.
It's not.
I'll
right.
put it on the screen if we really want to. Do I have anything compromising up right now? It doesn't seem like it. No. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, like, this is not her outfit. Could it be a different outfit? I guess. But this is not her outfit.
As presented
that is red, and her outfit is black. So you guys are like, that's Summer. I don't think it's Summer. I think...
Why have you taken this tone of voice?
Because they're all saying it's Summer. I don't think it's Summer. I actually think that it's supposed to be RWBY. Like, I think she can wear different clothes, I guess, but like...
But I think the thing that lands to the idea of it being the idealized version of RWBY is that the silver eyes are used just like that.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
I think, like, they could have given her a better outfit before. Like, even if it's without her cloak, guys. Like, yes, that's her hair, but I actually don't think that it's summer. I think that this is supposed to be RWBY if she stays in the ever after. Like, this is supposed to be if Jaune became DILF, this is what RWBY would look like as she ages.
MILF?
Yes, this is MILF RWBY. It's RWBY with Summer's bangs. Yeah, basically. It's RWBY if she was better. That's what the Huntress lady, that's what the Blacksmith lady is showing her. And that's probably what they showed Jaune. This is who you could be if you could be better. Aaron said that's summer. But like...
Okay, now you're in denial. Now you're in denial.
But Aaron can't, like... Aaron couldn't say it's not summer.
Aaron, screw me. You know, should we look up Aaron's Twitter to see
I'll look up the tweet, but like, I saw what Aaron said, and like, they just responded to someone that said you could have used old summer, and Aaron said, but it's different. She didn't, like, or sorry, they didn't say, like, you know what I mean? They didn't say, yes, hello, I am here to confirm that that is summer. It's just that someone said, like, oh, but you could have used Summer's old outfit for the tease. And they said, like, but that wouldn't be the same. So, like, that's already suspicious words in the first place.
I'm sure she had several different. I'm sure she had, meaning...
well, I can't find it.
Meaning
I'm
Summer
looking.
had plenty different... Yeah, I don't see it either. Yeah, I don't see the tweet,
yeah,
man.
what do you guys... I saw what people are talking about earlier, but, like, I don't think that it was necessarily, like, they didn't say that it was summer. They just said that, like, it wasn't, like, it wasn't, oh, yeah, like, you could have used one of the old renders of Summer for the cosplay tease. All Aaron said was that's not the correct version. Like, they didn't say...
Wait,
that
no,
it was summer. Someone
Wait,
else
I can now update
did.
my RTX cosplay and your secret cosplay unlocked. Oh, so they're gonna dress as either
as
that
the
Summer or...
person. But all Aaron says was, but it's not the correct version. They didn't say
anything else under?
No,
like...
they did not say it was summer.
Oh, so yeah,
they
that
just
isn't a
said
confirmation.
That the
That's
costume
vague.
was not the correct version.
Maybe it could be like a new outfit.
It could be a new
RWBY?
outfit for Summer. But, like, all Aaron said was that posting the version of Summer that happened before would not be the correct version that they're cosplaying as. So, like, it could be Summer. I'm not saying it's not Summer. I'm just saying that everyone is jumping to the conclusion that it is Summer, but what if it is RWBY?
I mean, I guess that's an idea, but it would both make sense because I feel like RWBY's idea of a huntress is summer.
But, like, there's also these little, like, leaf things on, like, the outfit. And so, like, the leaves have been a motif of, like, the Ever After specifically. So if this could be the RWBY that stayed in the Ever After, you know what I mean?
I don't know.
But,
I mean,
yeah.
RWBY is a possibility. I will always admit that.
But, yeah, like... It could be the new Summer model, which is fine. But, like, I wonder if this could also be the idea that, like, this could be RWBY's new weapon that she takes. You know what I mean? Like, this could be the new weapon that RWBY takes if she decides to change, and this is who she would change into. There are no leaves on RWBY, are there? No. I think that's part of the point, too, is that her outfit would be different.
Yeah, or maybe like... Oh,
that doesn't look like RWBY? I'm sorry, have you seen Jaune today? Because Jaune does not look like Jaune. You know what
Alternatively,
I mean?
that could, like, the version of Summer we've seen was maybe, like, Summer civilian domestic.
Yeah.
Whereas this is Summer, like, huntress.
Like the basic idea is that this is Summer. And that's fine. You guys can be basic if you want, but I think that this being the idealistic
But you
version
can come
of
over
RWBY,
where the cool kids sit in the cafeteria where we think everybody is butterflies.
I'm just saying, like, the weapons, like, have the wielders in the reflection. I know, but, like, I understand what you're saying, Dar, but, like, what if this is the weapon that the blacksmith lady wanted her to take for her to change? Because that, like, would follow the actual trend. You know what I mean? Like, I know what you're saying, Dar, that Ruby saw Penny's reflection in Penny's sword, and she saw Alex's reflection in Alex's sword. But, like, what if she is seeing her own reflection because this is the weapon that the blacksmith wanted her to take if she decided to leave Ruby behind?
But that is not her actual, it's just Crescent Rose that's disguised like this. But it's not the actual thing.
Yeah.
So
if you change your mind, you
yeah.
may choose any one of these you like and set your burden down, right? And so, like, this...
And she's like, I already had a weapon.
Yeah. Even though, like, yeah, this could be Summer's weapon and that could be Summer's reflection, and I know what you guys are saying. It could easily be that the blacksmith wants her to take this weapon to stop being Ruby and turn into new Ruby, right? You know what I mean? Okay, here is the other thing.
Well, it's also the fact that she says, I already have a weapon, or I did.
Yeah.
It's almost like, it's almost like, it's like, do you want these identities? Do you want Alex? Do you want Penny? Do you want your mother? It's like, no, I want myself. I am still myself.
Exactly, and like, that could work
Even
too.
though it's difficult,
but,
like, being me is difficult.
It's basically a one or the other. Here's the thing, though. This is also, like, I don't want to be that person, but this is a flaw of the show. They never showed us Summer's weapon at all until this moment. And so if they had shown it previously, it would be crystal clear that it's supposed to be Summer, but they didn't.
You can be
bother.
subtle. That's fine. That's not a flaw. Not having to baby and explain everything.
But that's not what I mean, Hunter. I mean the fact that, like, they gave Summer a temp outfit and they hid her clothes because they didn't want to design them in that picture with Team Stark. And then when they saw her again, her outfit was just temporary because they didn't want to give her an outfit in the vision that Ruby had. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they had time to establish what Summer used as a weapon and how she dressed in the previous pictures that they showed of her.
Yeah, but
they decided not to.
But
they
instead
just
of it
hid
being
her under
obvious,
a white cloak.
But instead of it being obvious, it can instead kind of be like
But I'm just
intriguing.
I'm saying the reason why that this problem exists is because they just didn't want to establish how Summer was.
It's being curious about a show or having that's not a problem.
But I'm just saying, like, it would have been crystal clear
certainly
this
a problem
was Summer if
you're
we saw
neurotic
Summer's weapon. Do you know what I mean? Like, it would have been clear
Fair
it was
enough.
Summer, but the problem is the audience doesn't know if this is Summer's weapon or not because they haven't seen it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah.
they're
I
subtle,
guess.
and then there's just not doing anything,
I don't
and
know.
they just didn't do anything.
I still think it's like, it is assumed.
But
You
the
can
problem
put
is,
two-
Hunter, like, now there are two, like,
Because
two
that's
very
what I took away from it.
There
you
are
know?
two different but very valid interpretations. One of them is that this is Summer's weapon and she is seeing Summer in the reflection. But then there's the other people that are thinking that, like, the metal lady is trying to tempt her to lose herself and that this could be a different version of Ruby, like how we see in the episode Jean is completely older and different. And so it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Well, maybe you're not supposed to know it right away because it's creating intrigue.
But the problem is if you're supposed to know immediately. Because the chat is talking about this as if we're supposed to know. You know what I mean?
But I mean, the two options that you can possibly interpret the scenes are is like, oh, it's like Ruby's having an identity crisis, and does she want to be her mom, and does she want to do that? And the other option is, well, is it that, or is this like, is Ruby gonna change as well? Is she gonna actually become her mom? And
but
like,
I'm just saying.
But it's like that's good either way. Like it's not a fault of the show.
The chat is saying this as if, well, Cal, there's no other alternative. It needs to be Summer because, like, it's obviously Summer, but, like, is it obviously Summer?
One day you will be free from the opinions of the peons, no offense, in the chat, and you will be happier for it.
But yeah, like, those interpretations can be confirmed later, but, like, I don't know. I just think it's weird that everyone is acting like it has to be Summer and there's no alternative explanation for this when we have, if they wanted us to know 100% that it was Summer, they should have shown the weapon earlier. If they wanted it to be a mystery, that's fine. I like the idea that it's a mysterious.
No, you seemingly don't.
No, I do like that. I'm just saying that, like, in terms of people saying it's Summer and that's that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that that's silly just to say that it's Summer. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's silly just to assume that it's Summer and just go with that. You know what I mean? And not entertain the possibility that, like, it's not summer. Like, you know?
Well, that's not the show's problem. That's just people on the internet.
That's not the show's problem, but I'm saying that if they wanted to make it clear to the audience in this episode it was supposed to be summer, I think they kind of failed at doing that because they never showed her weapon before. But if the show wants to be mysterious, then it's fine. It depends on, like, what they intended.
I think both works. Anyways.
But I'm just saying, if the intention was...
Stars, Cal, just pick the simple option. Just
no!
once, please,
I'm just saying that, like, if the intention, like, by the writers was everyone should know this is summer immediately when they see her, I don't think that's hitting, basically. Like, I don't think that they hit that. That's all I'm trying to say, is that, like, if it was mysterious, good. I like that it's mysterious, but, like, if we're supposed to just... No. I do like that it's mysterious, but I'm saying that I think that it's a little strange that the chat wants it to not be ambiguous.
I feel like we've spent an hour on this one
we haven't, Hudson.
I guess not. No, we haven't. But
yeah, like, getting the answers later down the line is fine. I just think it's weird how it's like, no, Cal, like, that's silly. It's clearly summer, like, but... Like, is it clearly?
This is Winter Maiden. I forgot about Winter Maiden, Nora. Thank you, Dar, for that.
Like, is it clearly?
Just look into the eyes of Summer or potentially MILF Ruby Rose and feel cleansed by the light of the silver eyes.
But yeah, I'm just saying...
Feel good inside.
Until we know that that's Summer's weapon, I don't think that, like, people should be like, well, it's obviously summer and you're stupid if you think it's, like, something... Because that's a vibe I'm getting. Like, oh, Cal, this is ridiculous. Obviously it's summer. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, until we know for sure that it's her weapon, I think it was meant to be ambiguous on purpose. And it's allowed to be ambiguous. You guys saying it's clear
There's 216 people here and you're fighting all of them right now.
Yeah, I know. Well, see, there's only one person in the chat that got me, and it's the person that's saying it's ambiguous.
I'm also making that argument.
I know, and I think that's good. I don't think it's supposed to be not ambiguous. So I think that, you know.
Of course you're having a great time, Howl. You thrive off chaos.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's intentionally unclear. So stop telling me that it's fucking clear it's supposed to be summer, because it's not.
Anyways, I really loved that scene, and I thought it was really compelling and cool.
I thought it was good, too. I really liked it. I like the idea that the metal lady is also kind of like the herbalist in the sense that, like, their job is to convert people or to change people in some capacity. But yeah, I enjoy the idea that that is Crescent Rose in some sort of disguise. I like that a lot. At least we know there's one more blacksmith scene? What do you mean? Question mark? Do we know? I don't remember that. I mean, I guess when she says, like, like, Ruby Rose, you know, putting away Ruby Rose like an old coat. I guess so. If you check carefully, it's clear, but, like, not really, because, why? Just because she has bangs? Ruby could have changed her hair. Jean has a full frontal, like...
Full frontal? I think a lot of people would really enjoy that Jean, that version of Jean being full frontal,
like,
you know what I mean?
Like,
you know?
Like, other than the hair, there's really nothing to say.
It's almost like children tend to look like their mothers.
Yeah. Like, I don't think that it's like, if you check carefully, it's clear, because the only thing you can check is the bangs.
Your naturally occurring split pink hair is very common in your household, you know?
Anyway.
It's hereditary gene.
But yeah, I was actually going to talk about the,
we missed a chat.
The leaf, the super chat leaf. Look at the leaf pins on the bottom of the picture. Doesn't that look like the leaves of the armorers? Yes, sort of. Like, these are more like cupped leaves, I guess.
Like,
but yeah, that's kind of my point in terms of why I'm like, did Summer have these leaf things before? Because these leaves are very, like, ever after-ish. And that's why I'm still, like, thinking about in terms of, like, the leaf stuff. And so, yeah, guys, yeah, sure. Her face is different, but your face changes when you get older. Jean's face does not look like Jean right now, guys. Oh, man.
Feel free, John.
Okay, here's the interesting thing, though, in terms of what Dar is saying. Now it's interesting, because I agree with it. So, yeah, the scene of Ruby closing the chest from the trailer with the same lighting, that's interesting, because I actually think that that's Neo. I think it's Neo disguising as Ruby. I don't think that that's actually Ruby, because some people compared, like, Neo's angry face to, like, other variety of Neo angry face.
Okay.
And, people think that Ruby closing the chest is actually Neo. So I wonder if when we get the scene of the blacksmith will be like, you're back! Don't you wish you could throw Ruby Rose away and hang it up like an old coat? And Neo's just there like, I'm not Ruby, right? And like and maybe that is when we see Roman's cane on the wall, like you said, Hunter.
Yeah.
Like when because Neo just attacked, they have the same base models, I don't care. Why would they go visit the blacksmith again after they already talked to her? You know what I'm saying? And also, I don't think Ruby has Little in that scene, which is sort of strange, right? And so, like, we don't see Little in the scene when she's closing the chest.
Give me the crack pipe.
No, but it's true. We don't see Little when she's closing the chest, I don't think. And I know Little hides in her cape sometimes, but I'm like, Neo. I don't know. It could be. And she could be looking around. Right? I think it would be really funny if the blacksmith lady started talking to Ruby as if it was Ruby and it was Neo. Right? And she was looking around. Hunter, do something! What do you mean? Why? We're talking about the episode! What do you want Hunter to do? You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that it would be really interesting if that scene where Ruby closes the chest is Neo.
Sure. Yeah. She looked a little grumpy there, but then again, Ruby has been fairly grumpy this volume.
It can't always be Neo. I mean, it could. Like, we haven't seen Neo. We know she's around because the Jabberwalkies are also around. So, like, you know what I mean? Okay. So, yeah, and so then they're like, come on, Ruby, we got everything else. What the fuck have you been doing here? Weiss is a little rude, but yeah, I like how they're all, like, sitting in the basket. I love how Weiss is like...
It's still, like, manning. I imagine that, like, Weiss, like, steers Curious Cat, like Ratatouille. Like, she just, Remy from Ratatouille just grabs one Wister, grabs the other, like, yanks him, like, turns him to the left. I would enjoy that a great deal.
I swear I just heard a dog. I just heard barking or something. Anyway.
Is it like your family brought one?
I don't know. Anyway. So yeah, Ruby's, like, apologizes for not getting the stuff. Okay, this is a little weird because, like, what is going on here?
A bunch of crap they're selling.
I mean, I guess, but, like, it's all toys. Like, toys that have been abused, right? Like, look, this toy's been ripped in half. This doll has no head. Like, it's all things that are slightly broken, which is, I don't know
also,
if that's going to be
design of this
later.
pot lady is wonderful.
There's a clock here. Does the clock have the right numbers? One, two.
It's just one.
It's just all ones.
Yep.
That's concerning.
I also like that the hawks things.
Yes.
That's amusing. The hawk who hawks.
So apparently her store is called Welcome to Things and Things. We got some confirmation that that's what it was. But yeah, like, it's interesting that it's all broken stuff.
Also, we have no idea what this woman says.
No, I just said what it was.
What was the...
It was Things and Things. Welcome to Things and Things.
She does not sound like she's saying things and
That's
things.
what I was told. So
it
that's
does
all
not.
we got.
I did a great job with the character, but that is a wild pronunciation of things.
Yeah, well, that's
it
what
sounded like
that's
a
what
V
I was
or
told.
a B.
I don't know what to tell you, Hunter. That's what they told me. But yeah, it's like toys and just also nose hairs for some reason, which is just strange. But yeah, like, the eyes are interesting because I'm like, is she the dormouse who happens to live in the teapot? Because that's something from Alice in Wonderland, right? The mouse that lives in the teacup.
Oh,
or in the teapot, right? It is the dormouse, isn't it? There's the mouse that, like, lives in the teapot.
Okay.
So I wonder if that's supposed to be them. I wonder, like, I know that this is kind of random, but I wonder, because Neo seems to be having the tea party, if she takes the broken teapot lady with her. And that's sort of a thing. We'll talk about Neo at the end of the stream because we kind of need to. But yeah, I love the fireworks. I thought that this was cool. I guess we kind of do.
Yeah, the fireworks, and then Yang's like, oh, it's a festival.
Yeah, and I wonder, like, if the fireworks, like, what is it? Magic? They don't have dust. Guess. So, like, what is
maybe
gunpowder?
Someone just makes gunpowder.
But they don't have gunpowder in Remnant, as far as we know, so it's kind of interesting. I don't know. Kind of interesting to think about, right?
That or it's magic. Maybe there's a gunpowder tortoise.
Maybe.
Or a fireworks tortoise. Something whose job is to launch the fireworks every once in a while.
But yeah, I love the, like a festival. Like, Yang's so happy. I thought that was cute. But yeah, and so we got the nose hairs, and then I love the danger fireworks in the background, which is really great. I really like that. There's magic everywhere. Yeah, I guess I was just wondering, because I was like, is there a way that they can replenish their dust? Because they're running low on dust. You know what I mean? And so I was like, okay, well, what are the fireworks made out of? If they're made out of magic, that's kind of whatever. But if they're made out of not magic, could they use whatever the fireworks are made out of to replenish the dust situation? But maybe not. And so, yeah. What is this?
Rusty piece of crap. I think a lot of it's just pieces of crap.
I know, but like someone had to model all these.
I just like also how it becomes like just a vacuum
cleaner. I know,
I
thought that was great. I thought that was really cool. They're like, no, the nose hairs, which is like the funniest RWBY
Which this
dialogue.
Is so sad. And
well, okay.
That she gives up her little brooch.
This is another thing that I think people are taking a little too literally. Like, people are saying, here, I'll give you this. It carries a mother's promise. Is like, actually that Summer gave this to her? I think RWBY's bullshitting. I think she's literally just lying. Like, she has understood or come to understand how the bartering system works now, and so she's just making something up. Like, I don't think that, I don't know, like, a lot of people are taking this very, like, literal, this is literally something that Summer gave RWBY before she left, and RWBY is giving it away. I don't actually think that that's the case. I think that this is just something that RWBY had, and she just made up some bullshit to make it seem valuable because they've been lying, cheating, and stealing.
Yeah.
And so I think that interpretation makes a little more sense, just because, like, there has been no indication up to this point that this object has been something special to RWBY in any capacity. You know what I mean? Like, they have never, looked at this with any sense that it is special to her in any way. So I think that it's like, I think it's just, she's just making something up that sounds...
But it used to go, the brooch used to go on her, was it always down at her belt, or was it on her cape sometimes?
It was on her cape, too.
And it was implied that, that robe used to be...
We may find out more about it later, but, like, I think she's just lying.
That her cloak used to be her mother, so maybe it's kind of connected
It is the emblem on Summer's grave. Oh, I know that, but I think that, like...
So it
I don't think that it was... I think it was a symbol of her, like how Neo has the tri symbol, but I don't think that, like...
I mean, that is her symbol.
Yeah, like, I just think that it's... Do you know what I mean? Cal, there was no indication the Ever After existed. I guess, but, like, Badar, that's different. This isn't a new story element. She's had it on her costume since Volume 1.
Yeah, but you can also assume these things, that it's like, oh, it may be like a hand-me-down, whatever, from her mother, and it means a lot to her.
But everyone has an emblem.
Yeah, but she could have taken her mother's emblem as her own.
Like, what does Cinder's emblem mean? The slippers. And Emerald has an emblem, and Mercury has the wings, and Blake has, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I know what you guys are saying, but, like, I think it's just RWBY's symbol. And I know it's probably Summer's symbol, too, but I don't think that it was, like, literally given to RWBY from Summer. I think it's just her emblem, and she's just making something up to pretend like it has sentimental value. Because, like, there are other things that RWBY could have given off her person, but she chose that.
Potentially, yes, but, like...
Cinder's emblem is the Grim tattoo?
I still think that it does hold some, like, symbolic value. And I think she's a little upset,
I think it's symbolic in a meta way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's symbolic, like, because they just talked about Summer. Like, I think it's symbolic in terms of, like, you know what I mean? it's symbolic in the sense that she's giving
But I don't
away.
think. But I always kind of looked at like Ruby's like dress, and that's part of her dress as a way of her being connected to her mother.
Yeah.
That was always kind of there.
Yeah,
It was implicit, not explicit.
But I'm saying that I think.
This is such a nothing thing.
I know, but I'm saying, like, I don't think that you guys know what I mean. I'm saying that,
I think
like,
they know what they mean.
on, like, in terms of, like, what it symbolizes in, like, kind of, like, the moment.
Yes,
Like, it's supposed to be kind of she said it represents a mother's promise. That's obviously a reference to Summer leaving her. But, like, in terms of the actual object, it doesn't seem like it has any sentimental value to her. Because she just gives it away.
Well, she's she's also worried about her friends dying.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, like, it was kind of a bit, like, my interpretation of it was like, oh, wow, she means business, that she's willing to hawk that in a moment.
No, I didn't see that she means business at all. I thought she was literally just making something up.
Well, that was my interpretation of it.
It's still symbolic of her mother. Yeah, exactly. It's symbolic of her mother, but I think literally it wasn't given to her. And she clearly has, like, feelings about her mother. So I feel like it would be kind of weird to suggest there's no symbolic But, like, the way that she looks at it, it's like she's trying to find you know what I mean? Like, she looks at it first to decide what she wants to say.
She's like, she's not, like, she's panicked, you know? She can't be like... in the warrior.
She also gave away Penny's sword.
That's true, yeah. Who knows?
She's worn it always. Well, that's kind of what I mean. She's had it for a long time, and we've never seen her look at it like, this is what my mom gave to me
but it can
before
be
she left.
Yeah, but why does it have to be so obvious and explicit?
Well, it
why
doesn't.
Can't it,
I'm just saying that, like, I think that, like, the way that I'm interpreting this scene is that she literally just grabs the first thing on her person, and she's like, here, take this. It's, what the fuck can I call this? It's the symbol of a mother's promise.
But
like,
it's also,
it feels like she's just putting bullshit, like, she's
But it's also like, when you
bullshitting.
think about, like, what Jinxie wanted, it was something of, like, a great deal of personal value. What was it that, like, he asked of Yang?
Like,
or
what it means to be loved.
What it means to be, so it's obviously things of high value, so maybe that's what she was
I'm just saying that, like, I think that she's using, like, she understands now how people barter in the ever after, so she's kind of using Jinxie's language and just putting it on bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? I think
someone's yelling, does your Neo hair that you always wear mean nothing to you?
What do you mean that I wear? It's on my head.
Difference is you often talk about your feelings towards Neo.
But yeah, I'm
more
saying,
than Ruby
I
talks
think
about
that,
her mother.
like, everyone has emblems. She's making up the value. Exactly. I think she's making it up, too. Okay, so there's other people in the chat that think she's BSing.
That's just different interpretations.
Yeah,
you don't need to defend it over and over again.
I know, but I'm saying that, like...
But I've never saw a fight that I didn't take to the dirt, Enter.
Well, I think it's important because I'm like, I hate when people say that this is so obvious. Like, no, we can still have different interpretations. I think that she was bullshitting. And we may never know whether she was bullshitting or not, but I don't care. I like to live in the reality where I believe that Ruby was full of shit and she was just lying on the fly just like Alex. And that's the symbolism of it. They're doing the exact same bullshit that Alex did. I agree with Cal on this one. Thank you. Yeah. I think she just looked at it and tried to find a reason.
Anyhow, I believe you had a super chat that someone offered.
I know, I did. I read it. It was, didn't the warrior in the woods have an axe for a weapon?
So you could be saying that weapon was the warrior in the woods.
We don't know about that. I don't think. I think that we see sickles. Like, she has sickle weapons in the book.
In the animated show or in the book? Because it might have been in the animated.
In the animated, I don't remember.
If that's true, it would be cool if some. But then I feel like we've agreed that it's not the entirety of all of the fairy tales. It's just the girl who fell through the world.
Yeah.
So we're not likely to find like the king, whatever, or the person who like stared at the sun. Or,
I think she's giving the base value of the item, understanding the cultural values of the setting she's in. Yeah, like, that's kind of how I feel, too. Yeah. She's just like, how can I make this seem valuable to people? Like, the value is not based off of, like, what kind of metal it is or whatever.
Yeah,
it's based off of some abstract concept of what objects represent.
Like, the symbolic value it has for her.
The purpose of the item.
Yeah, the symbolic value that it has for Ruby as a memento or reminder of her mother over than a practical thing.
Yeah, and so she has to, like, make up because she can't just be like, here, have this. It's metal. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but she's not making it up. There's some truth to that, in my interpretation, I guess.
I don't know. I think it's...
And I know you feel that she's huckstering.
Yeah, I think she's huckstering, and I like that. I think... Isn't it better if she's huckstering?
I don't know.
Like, I don't know. I think that's...
Like, I kind of like it that she's, like, trying to save her friend, and she's desperate, and she's pulling something like that.
But, like, she could have taken off her belt or anything else on her.
But it's like, I don't know, the way that, like, the Jinxie thing, it was, like, of symbolic value, like hugs or your greatest dreams. Or
but how did they get everything else?
That's a good question. I don't know. A part of me, then again, part of me feels like the cat can just convince people to do anything. So I feel like he could just go, or they could just go up and be like, hey, can you give me all your shit?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they got everything else. Except for this. With what money? What did they do?
I'm guessing the cat, I don't know why the cat wouldn't do it again. I don't know. Maybe they were panicked because they were holding on, but...
But yeah, like, that's kind of interesting. How did they get everything else?
It's a minor plot contrivance.
Well, no, I don't think it is. I think that there's something to that.
Okay.
The cat, like, could have gotten it, and I don't know, he wanted this to happen. Do you know what I'm saying? The cat wanted it to happen. I like Ruby. Yeah, I think that Ruby as a huckster, like, it's thematically important. Yeah, I think it's thematically important because she's, like, you know, slowly shedding the Ruby Rose stuff. But I think Ruby as a huckster is, like, interesting because it plays into this idea that they're making the same mistake that Alex did.
I'm surprised you're not rushing towards the pseudo-Neo.
I mean, they mentioned Neo. We didn't see Neo.
Yeah, but you see her hallucinations.
If she was huckstering, wouldn't she have given something less meaningful? But that's my question, is, like, what else does she, like, she could have given anything.
A hug? I don't
her.
know. A hug is of high value,
If it
according
wasn't,
to Little.
If it meant more to her, why didn't she give something else away? Like, I could ask the reverse of that same question. Why didn't she give away her belt or something, like something else? If the rose meant so much to her, why didn't she just, like, you know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Like, anyway, if it meant so much to her, why did she give it away? Yeah, like, you know, so I don't know. I think
because it had the value.
I think it has, like, thematic value, but I don't know if it actually has value to her. But yeah, that's my question is, the cat got everything else. So did he want this to happen? Did he want Ruby to have to give something away?
You know, I'm not against the idea that
she could have given her scroll. There was no time to haggle, but she didn't need to haggle. She could have thrown her, like, she could have thrown her ammo. Like, or whatever. She could have been like, and this is...
For slaying weapons. For slaying monsters.
She could have given away her bullet things and been like, and these belong to a great hero that slayed some bitches. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyways.
Like, she could have made up other stuff. But
now it's the last we see of Itty Bitty Weiss, Yang, and Blake, and so we're gonna have to...
But yeah, I think that the cat, there's something sus with the cat in terms of, like, the cat got everything else without giving up anything for it. So, like, is he trying to get Ruby to do these things on purpose? Right? And so, yeah, then we see the Jabberwalker.
So they go from, like, being, like, 6 inches tall to about a foot tall.
Yeah.
Which is good for them. They're now, like...
They get, like, plushy size.
Yeah, they're, like, plushy size.
But yeah, I thought that this was cool to see the Jabberwalker and, like, that he... Okay, here's the question. Here's the weird
if he ate it,
shit.
but it's...
He ate it,
but he's
an illusion.
Yeah.
So why did he grow?
That is peculiar. I don't know.
Right?
Unless there's something else to Neo that it's not just an illusion. There's some other sort of power influencing her.
I think that, like, it's strange. I think there's something strange going on with the Jabberwalker.
Yeah, because because now
he's like more real.
Yeah.
Than anything
other
that
illusion.
we've seen Neo do before in the show. Actually, that's a good question. Can someone go back and look at the scene where Ruby shuts the chest and see if we can... See, she could have given this away and said, oh, this is representative of man's best friend. Like, you know...
I guess so.
But yeah, and so what I'm thinking, can we go look at that scene where Ruby closes the chest and see if we can find, if she has her emblem on it or not?
Oh.
But yeah, because that could be interesting. that
If she does, then that could be Neo. But if she doesn't,
Neo
but it doesn't
fan
even
forgets
show
that
her
Neo's
body.
illusions are physical and can be touched. Like, okay,
Well, yeah,
no,
but, like,
I
the
didn't
fact that
forget,
she-
but that doesn't mean they should be able to grow by
Grow.
themselves.
By drinking the Grogurt, that is.
It's not
what's
because he's
different.
not biological. He's an illusion. So yeah, I didn't forget.
So unless the magical
just saying
Grogurt
there's
also
something
affects illusions,
strange
or these
going
illusions
on.
are becoming more and more real.
Yeah,
Hot shot 12ism.
I know. I'm like, what do you mean? I didn't forget. I'm saying it's weird because, like, usually if Neo wanted to change something about her illusion, she would have to be there to do it. But as far, we don't see her anyway. Why fear the Jabberwalkers if they're illusions? Well, they don't know that. I mean, they probably don't know that they're not
Well, because
real.
they don't know who Neo is. They don't know that Neo creates illusions.
Yeah.
They might just think, oh my god, the world's ending. There's
Yeah,
a bunch
they may
of-
think that this is like an apocalyptic event. So I think that, like, it makes sense because they probably are, like, unaware of the fact that there can only be, like, Jean knows, apparently, that there should only be one Jabberwalker. But, like, all the other people could just be like, oh, the world is ending. Fuck. It could also be that, like, maybe Neo, like, her illusions have grown to the point where she can copy the abilities and not just the appearance of people.
Perhaps.
Like, you know
yes.
what I mean? And so the Jabberwalker could still function the same way, and they can still hurt them. That is true. They can still fuck up a bitch, even if they don't actually die. So, interesting thing about the hawk guy, he has this thing on his eyes now after the cat manipulates him.
Which is peculiar.
Yeah, because the Curious Cat says that if the Jabberwalker eats one of us, we will not truly ascend, right? And so yeah, I think that that's interesting. I gave him something new to do for the moment. So that's the thing. The cat literally, like, manipulates this guy to go on a suicide mission against the Jabberwalker.
And he gets eaten later,
like,
and it's terrible.
Is anyone concerned about that? Like,
That
you
he's
know what
pretty
I
morally
mean?
great
That he's,
person.
like, morally corrupt. She can copy the abilities? I mean, that would be interesting. I like RWBY, but it's not known for its plot consistency. I mean, I wouldn't say this is inconsistent.
No.
Like, Neo just may be expanding.
I
know what I
wouldn't say
mean?
that's inconsistent, because yeah, her power is growing,
And
so this could be a
we don't
manifestation
actually
of that.
know if the Jabberwalkers could cause, like, permadeath. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, we don't actually know if the Jabberwalkers have, the same ability as the real one. It's just that the townspeople shouldn't know.
Yeah.
So I don't think that that's a criticism at
No.
all or a plot
That's
hole. in
I
any
also
way.
love how it looks like Ruby's carrying a bunch of cats in her arms.
Yeah, she's like, it's the rusted night. I need to take out this lullaby song. I don't know why it sounds so lullaby. But yeah, okay. Hello, Jean. It's Jean. We will
It's
talk
me.
about this.
Oh,
Okay,
little
so
face.
this rabbit does not look as much like Alex and eye color as it did in the portrait,
I guess.
but
yeah,
I
it's a lot
choose to
later.
believe.
that he's riding Alex.
I also believe it's weird. The rabbit kind of has the same color scheme as Little.
And his name's Juniper.
Yeah, which is, I'm like, there's something about that, because Little also has those sort of patches, right? Where, like, he's white, but then he also has the,
Yeah, but a lot of, like, creatures have a lot of
well, that's
mammals
what
have
I'm
that.
wondering. Like, he's white, but then he also has, like, these, like,
Yeah, but, like,
brown
mice
patches.
and rabbits have those.
I know, but
Yeah,
that's
like
what I'm
spots.
wondering about. Like, could this
Okay.
have been,
Purposeful?
because these ears are fucking huge. I
Yeah,
wonder if those
rabbit
could have
ears
been,
are
like,
big.
mouse ears that
Oh.
went out, like, but yeah, I still think that this is Alex.
Love a jackalope. Need more jackalope. Oh, and the sword is still broken. I
Yep,
did not
the
notice
sword
that.
is still broken.
That sucks. He still fights with a rusted ass sword.
But yeah, and Ruby's just surveying.
Grow, grow, and then they're big again.
Yeah, and so then the cat says, Ruby, follow me. See, he's like trying to separate Ruby from the others, and I think it's weird. But yeah, I think that, like, I like the Jabberwalker fight, like, even though it was brief.
It was very, very
all the
brief.
girls working together with John was
And they're
really
big
cool.
again. You can tell they're very happy to kick ass once more.
And then John says there's only supposed to be one. So he seems to know that, which is suspicious. But yeah, I like seeing them all fight. I thought that was really cool. Oh, well, yeah, so here was the fun part of this episode. It, like, literally cracked and dissolved into Neo.
And I didn't realize that was a Neo thing until I think it was Blake that says, Neo?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've seen her, that's her sparkle effect.
I know it is, but I didn't recognize
an expert
it right away.
Neo fan
Okay, so you recognized it right away?
Yes, I did.
All right.
And so, yeah, then Blake says Neo, which I think is interesting because, like, Blake never saw Neo do this ever.
But she probably heard about it afterwards.
I guess, but it's funny. I think that maybe they should have given that line to Yang.
Yeah, that's true.
Because Blake should not know this.
Well, didn't Blake see when Neo was Blake there when...
That was Juniper fight.
No, that was Juniper fighting Neo.
So it's kind of funny, just because I'm like,
is awesome.
Bitch, how do you know this? It's fine.
True.
It's not like that big of a. I'm not saying like, plot hole. Like I'm not like that obsessed.
But that
about
happened before. Like Ruby knew who Cinder's name was, even though they were never introduced in Volume 4. So like,
I know. I just think it's funny. I think
true.
It's funny. Blake fought Neo 24 hours ago. Oh, you guys are right. I forgot about that. Okay, you got me. I'll believe it.
True.
Sure. I forgot.
We should really
I didn't remember that.
We should watch like 5 onward again. No, we didn't really.
We watched 8 though. That's what they're talking about.
That's
they're talking about 8. Oh yeah, they did fight her after the mech fight. You guys are right. I was like, Blake, how the fuck do you know this? Yeah, I guess she could have seen when Blake turned into her, or I guess, when Neo went from the lady into not the lady anymore to stab Yang, and like other effects. Yeah, that's true. So I guess I still think that should have been a Yang line, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Just because I feel like they have the most beef.
They have the most history out of all the people there right now. But I also like, I don't know, I kind of like Blake being smart, which has been a trend this volume, is Blake is very perceptive and observant. So like, I like that for Blake.
Good for her.
That's nice. And so Jean's like, run away.
Beautiful. Smart, could kick your ass.
Because they are just
bisexual.
Jabberwalkers
everywhere. Lazy with them.
Okay.
Which part of me feels like Team RWBY and Jean and that thing and the cat and the bird could take on those. Right? There's
a lot.
I don't know, man. I believe
Jean's sword is broken.
Yeah, but like you could like buck him with those big like jackalope antlers.
They definitely, and they're running low on Dust Hunter. They can't just fight everything. Okay,
yeah.
I know that we're almost at the end of the episode, but I really have to pee. And I need some water. So I guess Hunter's just gonna be here for a minute. What do you mean? Why are you shaking your head?
No. Please urinate and get more water.
Yeah, I don't want to get sick again.
No, that's not what made you sick.
I know.
Neo is what made you sick.
Hydration. Also, yeah, you guys can see I'm wearing shorts and I'm not wearing something nice under my clothes. This is how I record.
Just take a moment of like that nice bit of calmness. I feel like we could make these RWBY streams like a nice little like NPR, smooth. Hi, I'm Ira Glass. Let's talk about RWBY, right? It'd be very sweet. It'd be very calming. Regrettably, I'm nuts and I yell a lot, but then again, there's also Cal. I feel like I could like also roll ahead, but then I also all of a sudden realize I don't know how to skip through the... Okay, well, I guess we're just sticking on this one screen. I'm going to be entirely honest with you, right? I don't think Cal knows how to let a small thing go. I think that the second Cal heard about... Like, the second anyone contradicts her about the RWBY thing, or about the butterflies, or about like, Lord knows what else. Like that. What was the last thing? I think I might have zoned out the last time. What was it? Oh, right, about her brooch. And it's just like, that could have been 2 minutes. It didn't have to be that long. You could have just explained it, and we could have kept rolling.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. I also don't know how to like...
Explained what?
I was trying to like give him... Oh, thank you so much. You're such a lovely person.
You were trying to give who?
I was trying to like give a kind of Ira Glass calm energy towards...
What are we talking about?
Soothing the sessions with Hunter.
Why?
Because it was... No roasting is occurring. It's it was like soothing time. So it was just like, here's a brief calming Hunter interlude.
But what did you say?
We talked about like the last handful of things in my reaction to them. Yes,
okay.
Like the butterflies or
enjoy your respite when you can. That's not nice, Arnold.
Ouch.
Okay. Let's see. Where'd my music go? Don't worry, I'll check the VOD later and Hunter will be punished accordingly, depending on what was said.
I did not say anything.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Except you're not, though.
If you didn't say anything, why are you worried?
Just, I don't know, maybe you could be a little, I don't know, maybe you're gonna be like a little like false imprisonment, a little like
if you didn't say anything about it, why are you worried, Hunter?
Punishment beyond. A little punishment beyond what is. I guess I just fear you.
Okay.
You know?
I believe you. Kinky cow?
What?
No, it's not.
Oh, but not that kind of punishment. Oh my god. Although if you want to get more of that, you should read Cal's fanfiction.
Oh man, Hunter and I had a conversation earlier, but it's so not appropriate for the stream.
Right, about the you know.
Yeah. So okay.
Blindfolds.
Yeah. I'm thinking.
Let's just not. No, they don't need to know that.
No.
No.
But
it wasn't bad, and it wasn't that interesting. I mean, it was interesting, but it wasn't like they don't need to know.
No.
No, they don't need to know. It's also not anything that scandalous.
No, it's...
If you guys listen to it, you'd be like, oh yeah, everyone already knows that. It's just Cal is somewhat ignorant of
all I'm gonna say is that...
Horn's racist.
No, not that. That's not what I was gonna say.
That was my takeaway from the conversation, because it absolutely is.
I was going to say that, like, trying to find women being dominant...
That's not that
on
hard.
the internet...
That's not that hard. You're not very good at this.
It was difficult.
You're not very... That's not that hard.
I mean... Anyway, where I was looking. And so you guys saying punished, like, reminded me of that, because, like, I couldn't find, like, finding any, like, female empowerment stuff like that. I could not.
Not, like, there was the other thing that you were having a hard time.
There was something totally
Which,
separate.
I don't know, we should mention that, but it was that was the
it's just, you guys saying that, like, you guys saying that just now made me think of that earlier conversation where I was like, well, apparently, according to the internet, that's not a preference of men. You know what I mean?
Apparently, women watch gay porn. Two dudes going at it, you know? Allegedly.
Well,
that's very
anyway.
common.
But yeah, like, we were talking about that earlier, and I was very...
Straight womanish.
Like, I was very surprised at how, like, I don't know, submissive the average man wants women to be in the things that they watch and stuff.
It's worrying.
Like, you know what I mean?
You want to know
I'm sure there's a whole study about it somewhere, but I was like, that's a little concerning. The fact that, that there seems to be, like, I don't know, there seems to be something like that.
She has.
I have, but I'm saying, like, statistically...
Okay,
I bet that there's some sort of study somewhere that says that
there are a lot of men that are in that. Something that I do find interesting. So a lot of like popular like porn sites, like they release statistics of like what categories are most popular in different places. And transgender materials are most popular in like southern red states in the United States.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Florida,
about.
Texas,
I learned some things
Georgia, Kansas,
today.
Nebraska, places that like it's increasingly like illegal to like cross-dress or be a drag queen or mention gay people in schools are the places where they're like, you know, rubbing them off to us. And I find that deeply amusing.
And so when you guys said earlier, how is this relevant? It's because the chat, how is this relevant? It's because the chat said something about me like punishing Hunter in a kinky way, and I wanted to, it made me think of,
Correct the
apparently
record.
not.
Yeah, no,
Apparently that's...
no, but it is, and I can. Never mind. This is a conversation, meant to be a private conversation.
I'm sure it is somewhere. I'm just saying
You couldn't find it.
It was very interesting to see how that was not the most popular preference, and the most common preference was not that. You know what I mean?
I think we're frightening people. These are anime fans. They don't know what sex is. We need to move on.
But yeah, like, there were some, and so I was thinking about that. I was like, well, apparently men don't want women to be powerful and dominant on this.
We're gonna get
according
demonetized!
to these statistics. What do you mean? We're not saying anything.
That's true.
We're
Anyways.
not saying anything at all, so it doesn't matter. Plus, we got super chat, so we're fine.
That's true. Yeah, we made our money. Fuck y'all.
Exactly. Anyway, and so it was just funny how the chat was like, kinky, and I'm like, apparently not. apparently not.
Oh God, I feel like we could have a podcast just about this conversation because I want to ask anyways.
But yeah, and so they get up. This was a very nice moment. Anyway, okay, if you guys are mad at me for going on a tangent, you guys shouldn't have been talking shit about me, because that's the only reason why the Punish Hunter thing came up, was because you guys were saying Hunter was talking shit.
We weren't talking
I know,
shit.
but I'm saying it's the chat's fault. It's you guys' fault.
How do you know she has ADHD, said Alice. The cat replied, we're all ADHD here. I'm ADHD, you're ADHD.
But yeah, and so, I'm just saying, you guys shouldn't have said the kinky thing if you didn't want to hear my opinions, if you didn't want to hear more about it.
Oh, it's just John's daddy energy getting everyone hot and bothered. I agree, Hal.
But yeah, I think that the eye thing is interesting because that clearly is only present after the cat's involvement. And I think that's very suspicious.
Yeah. I love how he's just like a newsy hawk.
Well,
He's
yeah,
so cute.
I liked his little hat. I didn't expect him to be this big when we saw him in the trailer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in the trailer, the bird looked normal size, but he was actually quite, like...
He's a big boy.
Human size, right? But yeah, I think
maybe that's just a framing there. I don't think he was that
the
big.
fact that... No, he wasn't, though, because when we saw him earlier, too, like, he was. But yeah, I think that it was interesting in the sense that, like, are they gonna start realizing that the cat's, like, a little morally ambiguous? Like, you know what I mean? Like, when are they gonna start realizing that the cat just sent someone to his death so they could escape? And when are they gonna start to have a problem with that? Right? Because I feel like they're not having enough of a problem with that right now. If, for some reason, the rabbit is not Alex, I feel like that the cat may actually be Alex then. Because we thought that the rabbit was Alex and then the boy was the cat. But, like, if for some reason Alex isn't the rabbit...
3 different people are out.
No!
The cat... No, sorry, 2 different... 2, okay. So
I'm just saying that because Alex, like, lied and cheated and manipulated people, and that's what the cat does. It manipulates people.
True.
So that would be very interesting. I just wonder why they wouldn't give Alex, like, a female VA and instead of Robbie Damon if she is the cat. That's why I was leaning more towards the boy, but, like... We're all gender down here, I guess. Like, that's kind of the vibe right now. So, yeah. And so I like, John is obviously rusted, right? He is, like, super rusted. But I love Weiss's line here. She's like, I hate how we keep leaving these places into, like, ashes, like, you know? And so I thought that was really good. Because it's kind of their fault, but it's not because, like, this is Neo. So, you know what I mean? There wasn't a lot that they could have done about this. Either. I wonder, though, how the teapot lady got up here, because that's a little strange. Like, I guess she just followed them to run away, but, like, she also has a crack in her now, so I wonder, like, maybe we'll see, like, it would be interesting if later we see the teapot lady and she's at the tea party, and that's why they had that moment right there, because they wanted to showcase, like, the teapot lady's purpose changed after the market got interrupted. Like, I think that would be interesting. But I like this moment between RWBY and Weiss right here. The White Rose fans are like, finally, they've talked to each other. I'm also assuming that there's some sort of tunnel based off of the fact that, like, you can go in here. So I'm wondering if, like, there's some sort of, like, elevator. Like, this is, like, the top of a staircase, because how did they get up to the other levels? I mean, I guess it's kind of like a spiral shape in the first place, so you would just keep climbing. But I wonder if there's a tunnel that would take them all the way down to the bottom from up here.
It does look like there's like a continuous tunnel in there.
Yeah. So let's talk about Jean, okay? Because Blake is
like so
excited.
bisexual. She's like, she definitely had a crush on this character as a kid.
I feel
the way
like,
how like bright-eyed and excited.
I know that Weiss just had that line about the destruction, and so she's probably not in the mood. But I do wonder if they should have given this oh my god. I wonder if they should have given Weiss this line, because Weiss is the one who talked about how handsome he was. So like, I don't know. I like that Blake is bisexual, but I feel like that, like, I don't know, it would kind of make sense to come back to Weiss on that line, just because Weiss is the one who said it before.
Secret
You know
tunnel.
what I'm saying?
I do agree with that. That would have been...
Like, I think it would have been better for it to be Weiss, because Weiss is the one who said he was handsome and was fangirling. Why couldn't we have met the knight? And then she has no reaction when they actually meet him.
They seem kind of frowny,
strange.
Whereas Yang and Blake are very excitable.
I wonder, like, I don't know. I just wonder. I wonder if, like, maybe that was meant for Weiss and they changed it for whatever reason.
I don't know.
I don't think it's that serious.
Because I feel like Blake is also the person who's, like, most into the book so far. So it would make sense. It would make sense that she would be the one to have a crush on a character.
Okay, people are already saying that this is Neo, but, like, the pin's not here, and so Neo doesn't know that she gave the pin away.
I feel like they did that because there's going to be a thing where it's just like, shoot! And they're going to have to...
I think that there is. But I don't think she was fangirling. She just said he was handsome, but, like, I don't know. Anyway, I think it would have been nice to have Weiss have that line and be, oh, fuck. I was fangirling over Jean. I think it would have been funny if it was Weiss, because then there would have been that, like, realization that she's been fangirling over Jean.
Oh, I like that. So that little red thing, I wonder if that's pure sash.
It probably is.
It is.
Yeah, so also Jean has, like, previous dialogue about the wolf tail thing in Volume 4, question mark. Neo could have been watching, you're right. I just, like, but why would she pretend to be Ruby when she could just kill Ruby if Ruby is separated from the rest of the group? Like, why would she try to assimilate with the group instead of just kill Ruby because Ruby's now alone? You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's Neo right now. You know? I don't think that that's Neo because turning into Weiss, sure. Assimilating that way into the group by pretending to be someone else, like, that makes sense. But, like, Neo pretending to be Ruby when she wants to kill Ruby in this instance when she's with the rest of the group doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Unless they would attack the other real Ruby on sight, but then if she talked, that would all be ruined. So, guys, I think it is just Ruby. Not everybody is Neo, not this time, right? Yeah, so...
Whoa.
Jean.
Yeah, is that a scar? No, that's just a shadow.
So he says, Team Ruby, ... You finally made it. Which is weird because, like, again, we don't know. It's weird for Jean to address them this way, I feel.
Because I feel like he would, like...
He's saying it so formally.
Unless it's, like, so one of two things
as if he's Ozpin. Like, you know what Team Ruby. Like, he wouldn't say that. He would say, you guys, you finally made it. Like, why would he address them as... Team Ruby, you finally made it.
My two things is that either he was transformed and so he knows about Team Ruby, but he doesn't know he has a personal connection with them. Alternatively, I don't think he's been here for a longer time, but I think he could be, like, tricked mentally into thinking he's been here for a very long time. That goes along with his body aging. So maybe this is just him reacting to being very, very weary.
Here's what I think is going on. I think that Jean has taken the role of the Rusted Knight.
Yes.
And therefore, the world aged him up accordingly to how old the Rusted Knight was supposed to be. I don't think that Jean actually aged. And I don't think he's actually been here for like 40 years. I think that if you take the role of someone in the story, you become that thing, and therefore he grew old. Do you know what I mean? Like, if we think that the boy is the cat, the boy turned into the cat, or Alex turned into the rabbit, John turned into the knight. And so I don't think he's literally been here for like 30 years. I think that he turned into the Rusted Knight, and for the purpose of the story, like something in the code says that he must be old, so the story aged him up. I don't think that he is actually old at all. Like, I think that he just took the role of the Rusted Knight and therefore is the same age the Rusted Knight should be in order to keep the continuity of whatever story happened before Alex got here. Some people think that this was the same Rusted Knight that Alex met, but I don't actually think that that's the case. I think that maybe what happened is that when Jean expressed wanting to change or something, whoever helped him change disposed of the old Rusted Knight and replaced them with Jean. Yeah, like how the Red Prince is supposed to be a kid even though he was a grown-ass man before. It just went the other way. So yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. I don't think the king aged down. So I think that Jean aged up, despite not having been here for that long at all. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he feels weary because he feels old, but there's no time skip in of itself. He just became the Rusted Knight and therefore he became old. So yeah, like some people think like, oh, it's a time paradox and John became the Rusted Knight and so he was the Rusted Knight when Alex was here and then he grew up, like how Jinxie grew up. And I think they would have to explain that because that needs explaining. Because
you've got some explaining to do.
The scythe drops and then Alex. I mean, Alex just wakes up though. We don't like the OP is supposed to be also symbolic. So I think that like looking at the OP too much, like it's important to look at the OP, but we also can't look at the OP too much. How do we justify his seemingly greater knowledge though? Because
does he have seemingly?
I mean, he knows that there's only supposed to be one Jabberwalker, but he could have heard that from someone. Like, someone could have just told him that.
Did he say that, or did...
He said that, yeah.
Said that? Okay.
So, like, it doesn't seem like he has that much greater knowledge, to me, anyway. Like, that could be a normal thing to have figured out based off of word of mouth if somebody said that there's one creature here and there's one Jabberwalker. That could also be part of the story, though, Dar. It could be part of the story that there's only one Jabberwalker, and so that's how Jean knows that, whereas, like, maybe Blake will say that next episode. John's right. In the story, it said there was only one Jabberwalker that roamed the earth. Like, they could explain it like that.
That roamed the earth with the dinosaurs. Land before time, but Ruby.
I think it's very deliberate that the Red Prince's aging is explained in the same episode. I agree. I don't think there's a time skip. I think that Jean... Here's something else that is interesting. Ren says something in Volume 8 that is to the effect of, we aren't adults, right? Like, you know what I mean? He says, like, we're not huntsmen. We're not adults. We're just kids. Ren says that. So what if part of Jean's wish was thinking about the fact that, like, Ren said that they were just kids, and that was part of why they failed. Therefore, he made the wish to be an adult.
That's what I kind of mentioned earlier, that when he imagines himself as his best huntress, he imagines... or
as
huntsman,
older and wiser.
As older and wiser and grizzled and rusty and dilfalicious.
And we'll probably make a video on that tomorrow, because I feel like it's worth making a separate theory about what's going on with Jean, but I do not think that I hope there's not going to be fuckity-wuckity, Jean was here when Alex was here, and that's why he's old now. I don't want the time skip to be the truth. I think I
think it could go either way, but I'm on your side as well.
John wanted to be older and wiser. Exactly. And so he became older and wiser. We think.
A tall glass of water.
I don't think Jean is any hotter than he was before.
No, truthfully, I'm making the DILF joke, but honestly, it's like, he looked better with his, like, queer-eyed hair.
Jean, you know? I think all men in RWBY are ugly.
Fox.
Except for Fox. He's the exception.
Yasuhashi.
Well, they were also in Volume 2, so, like, men in RWBY have gotten more ugly as the show went on.
Really?
Yes! Crow is hotter
Marrow.
in Volume 3 in terms of his physical model.
Marrow.
He's okay. Callier he looks. I'm just saying, it's like Superman. Like, you know, there's something that they did.
Down under down.
After they changed. No, but Roman was in the old engine. They did something after Volume 4 that made the men look worse. And that is the hill that I will die on. I don't know what it was, but they did something that made the men look worse. And so Yatsuhashi is hot, and Fox is hot, and Crow is hot, because
what about Iron?
What
about Ironwood with his beard? He looks way better with the beard than he did without it. I think Jean looks better with his short hair.
The thing about Ironwood is that he has a very different face shape that, like, very much gives chiseled, if that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the problem with the Superman thing is that they look like Barbie doll, like baby dolls with giant eyes. Like, they don't look, I don't know. I don't even want to say they don't look manly. They just don't look aged.
Wow, not manly. Wow.
They just don't look aged, if that makes sense, right? Ironwood has the jawline to look aged, but Jean is giving Raven right now when they just had Raven have the exact same face as Yang and put some wrinkles on her and said that that was being old, right? So I'm just saying, like, it's mostly the face shape. Like, Hazel looks good facially because Hazel, but like Jean and Ren, like they have more youthful faces, but youthful gets into Barbie doll. Does that make sense? Like the actual adult men look fine. It's when you get into the teenagers that they look a little strange, a little uncanny. Like Superman in the fucking Justice League trailer looks terrible. So, yeah, that's just my opinion. Jawlines don't indicate age, though. I know that they don't. I'm just saying in terms of their face shape being, like, hot.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean,
like,
so.
I'm saying that,
fair enough.
like, the actual face shape being hot, they just look so baby. They look so Ken doll. I don't like it. Right? Cal body shames Ruby men live. Yeah, I will, actually.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, I've been calling him Dilfy, but it's like, yeah, I mean,
all of the male teenage RWBY characters look uncanny. Yeah, it's kind of like an old Disney versus new Disney. Yeah, it's, like, to me, Jean, like, not this Jean, but, like, to me, Jean is kind of given, like, it's not this bad, but, like, the male RWBY characters are given, like, Elsa, where they just have the small heads and the giant eyes. I think, actually, no, we talked about this in another stream. I think that is actually the problem, is that in anime, a lot of the time, male characters will have different eye shapes. They'll have sharper eye shapes to indicate that they, I don't know, not to indicate anything, that not even that they're older, but just their eyes will be sharper compared to, like, the female eye shape, which is, like, larger and, like, more like what Team RWBY has. The problem with the RWBY male models is that they all have the same eye shape, and I don't want to say the problem, but they all have the same eye shape as the female models, which is why I think they look kind of uncanny, because if you look at other anime and how they stylize, I guess, like, the differences between, like, their male and female characters, the female characters have, like, this eye shape, whereas the men will have sharper, like, even more narrow sort of eyes. And so I think, yeah, we did talk about this. So that's the problem, I think, with the RWBY male models, is that eye shape works for a character like Oscar, who is young and youthful and baby-faced, but then as, like, characters like Jean grow up, it's just, I don't know. Like, it's not weird, because RWBY has always sort of been consistent with that style, but at the same time, I feel like Roman had, like, different shaped eyes in his thing. Fox definitely does, because his Amity art has his eyes being more, like, shaped sharply, and so does, like, I don't know, I can't think of anybody else right now, but yeah, I wonder if that's, like, a thing. You
Perhaps.
know? This is objectively wrong? No, it's not. If you look at other anime, you can see it! You can look at, like, any, like, I don't know, look at, like, Light Yagami compared to Misa or something. Their faces are just different. The men in RWBY have the slimmer eyes? I don't think so. They don't look that different. Is that what I'm saying?
Your tenacity is,
Did Clover look bad? Yes! Why are you asking me that?
He looked like Clover. I don't know.
Oh, man. Somebody in the chat said earlier, what did they say? Cal is a bit biased here. She likes dark-skinned guys. Like, you're irrelevant. Jaune has the biggest eyes of the male characters, and that's the thing. Yeah.
I just don't think you, like, find men as universally attractive as you find women.
No, I don't. That's true, too. But yeah, like, if you look at Roman compared to Jean, like, it's very different. Like, the everything. What about Tai Yang? I don't know, guys. Fuck, let me go look,
I also feel like
guess.
you don't like DILFs, you know? So, like, none of these guys were ever going to do anything for you.
Well, see, Tai Yang's face is much bigger than his eyes. Like, he's very well proportioned. I think it's Jean that's the problem. Why would Jean be older here anyway? We've talked about that.
Thank God you're letting that one slide.
I'm dead? That was funny? Why is it funny? It's not fun. I mean, I like Roman. Okay?
It's really Roman and Fox are seemingly the only two RWBY.
No, but I'm saying, like,
RWBY
people are like...
that you like a lot.
Like, people in the chat are like, Cal doesn't like white men. And I'm like, I like Roman. That's it. But it's still, Roman's still there. Okay? I filled out the white men diversity quota, and it is Roman. He is the one white man.
Fictional character.
Yeah. I'm saying that, like...
But it's like, yeah, but I wouldn't say that it's disproportionate, because I think the only people you crush on is, like, Fox and Roman in the thing.
I see what you're saying.
So it doesn't even, like, in the context of RWBY, it's not even, like, a major preference.
Oh, yeah. It's not, but in terms of what the chat was saying. Roman is the token white man that I like, apparently, is what I'm saying. He has the honor.
What an honor, I'm sure it is.
Anyway, so we'll talk about Jean another day. I love how everyone freaks the fuck out. Blake's ears are great here.
Getting right back.
Oh, God. How she, like... pulls herself backward. She's like, I did not just call John hot.
Retract. I have a girlfriend.
I think, like, it's interesting because, like, everyone's surprised, but Weiss is just like, are you serious? Look at how Weiss's eyes, like,
she's more sick.
Go in a little bit.
At this point, it's like she's so, like, sick of it that she's just like, yeah, I mean, what the fuck else did I expect, I guess?
Why do you, as a man, have big eyes to look at other men? Oh my God. I'd kill myself. Okay. There's only one more thing that I would like to talk about.
I want to find something really stupid that I will monologue about.
Did you just say it was stupid?
Oh, great. I'm getting punished again. I don't...
You don't even know what I was going to say yet. It's not stupid.
No, but it's just that you've done a lot. I'm just like, no, not okay. Stupid sounded too judgmental, but I want something that I can monologue for hours about.
Weiss is concerned because she thought John made it past the gate. I also wonder if Weiss is concerned because they'll find out what happened to Penny, like, through Jean, and I think that's concerning.
Or that Jean was the one that murdered, or Mercy killed. Put her down. Old Yeller to her, as it were.
I'm concerned that, like, I think that Weiss may be like, oh shit, what if Jean tells RWBY what actually happened? That's no good. So yeah, I wonder if that'll be, like, a conflict later, that Weiss did not tell RWBY the whole truth about what happened, and it'll, like, that Jean killed Penny, and there will be conflict with Jean, and Weiss is, like, worrying about that.
But will he even remember?
We'll talk about that later. Okay. Do we know that Weiss knows? Yes?
Well, I think so. Maybe? I don't know.
I don't know. Okay. So let's talk about this. Because I had an idea, and we'll make a separate video about this. Oh my God, I'm coughing again.
Oh, it's happening.
Well, it's probably just because we've been talking all day. I think I have the hiccups.
I learned that if you just, like, if you hold your breath for a prolonged period of time, I find that's, like, my new, as of very recently, cure for my constant hiccups.
Anyway, let me talk about this real quick before we go. So, when it comes to the Jabberwalker, I think that there could be something interesting that happens in the future. And that is, like, all of the denizens of Wonderland, or of the Ever After, seem to know that the Jabberwalker is bad news. And that the influx of them has freaked them the fuck out.
Yes.
So I wonder, and like, bear with me, because I know that this is gonna sound a little, like, crazy. But is it possible that Neo could do some sort of, like, propaganda where she says, hey, everyone,
I like this idea.
if you give me Ruby Rose, I won't get all the Jabberwalkers to kill you. But if Team Ruby still continues to run around, I will literally eat you all and you will never respawn. And I think that that could be interesting. How Neo does that is questionable because it's not like she can broadcast it to the world or anything. But we do see that at least, like, the king puts up posters, right, in the town. And so I'm wondering...
So people are literate, you know?
Yeah, people are literate. So here's my crack, okay? Neo goes to the Red Prince, who has been pissed off by Team RWBY.
Yeah.
And basically expresses to him in a variety of gestures, okay? Those people that caused you problems, okay, are causing me problems. Can you, like, do something about that? Like, can you order the citizens here to revolt against Team RWBY? Because the prince already banished them. So I wonder, Neo goes back to the prince. This is not the appropriate sound for this conversation. Hold on. Okay. Neo doesn't seem to know that. She could, though. She might. Like, it depends. Like, it really depends. We don't know if she knows or not. She knows that people are afraid of them, and I think that's the only thing that really matters. Right? So, she goes to the Red Prince and is like, look, you have a problem with Team RWBY. I have a problem with Team RWBY. Can you help me get the word out here that if I do not get Team RWBY, I will kill everybody, right? And so I feel like that could be a real possibility that Neo can get the citizens of Wonderland to revolt. Like, they're like, why the fuck is this happening to us? Like, we are good people. We did not deserve this.
Things got way more chaotic when you showed up.
And Neo basically expresses to them that it's Team RWBY's fault. And if she has Team RWBY, she will stop to whoever happens to be around. It doesn't matter if she knows the exacts of it. She just knows that they're afraid. Like, you know what I mean? And, like, it depends, right? Because they say that that wasn't in Alex's story. Like, they say that Alex never said anything about Ascension. But what's interesting is that there are multiple versions of fairy tales in our world. And so I wonder, is it possible that there are different versions of Alex's story and Neo could have gotten a hold of one of those
and they created, like,
ones?
the edited one. Or...
Yeah, exactly. Because we know that she likes fairy tales, so I wonder if that could be interesting.
Or, like, most people forgot the true oldest version.
But I don't think that Neo would be playing second fiddle to the prince or whatever. I think that she's literally going to storm the castle and use her Jabberwalkers to threaten the king's soldiers into hunting down Team RWBY. So yeah, that's kind of the idea. Basically, Neo goes to the prince and threatens him, and then uses her position, like the power that she has over them, to get the prince to do what she wants. And so it's not going to be Neo playing second fiddle. It's actually going to be Neo in control. Like, Neo forces the Red Prince into commanding the guards to look for Team RWBY. They basically make this, like, PSA. Hey, if you see these people...
Murder your local huntress.
You know, if you see these people, go get them. Like, they are under arrest, basically. Like,
or like, if you
vanished.
don't bring me their head in X number of, I'm gonna launch all the Jabberwalkies and eat you all.
Yeah, exactly. So Neo threatens the prince, and then the prince's soldiers start to go after them from that point onward. And not just them, but any of the other Wonderland citizens will turn on Team RWBY and try to turn them in. it could be also possible that, like, they put a bounty on Team RWBY.
Yeah, I think we won't see the scene. We'll just see the bounty papers show up. If I had to guess, which I like this idea, but I think it'll be the bounty photos.
I don't think Neo would even play the game with him. I think she would just literally break into his house.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think that she would bother playing the game.
She would just immediately kick his ass.
She would just kick literally all of their asses and express in a variety of gestures like...
I actually like the idea of her kicking the prince out of that castle and she just takes over the castle for herself.
She just literally takes it over. So, that's what I think is going to be the situation with Neo going forward that makes her the principal antagonist. I think she is literally going to hostily take over the Ever After and force the citizens to turn in Team RWBY and make the bounty papers and get the guards to chase after them. I don't think that the people with her in the intro are necessarily the mercenaries. I think that, like, we've talked about that in a different video, some of those being her parents and, like, Roman and stuff. But, like, on principle, I think that, like, Neo is basically going to threaten as many people as she can. Because we also don't know how many more acres there are. We haven't seen anything past this area other than the cloud bridge in terms of the trailer. The only character we haven't met is the friendly carpenter, and some people think that that's the blacksmith who changed professions. And so in terms of the characters that Team RWBY has mentioned, and the OP and everything, there are no more areas. Like, we're running out of acres, and so it's possible that the king is, like, the major authority. Well, there's also the scene where they walk up the tree, so I still think there will be, like, the tree chapters. No, I agree. I'm just saying, like, in terms of, like, how many other areas of land there are, the only characters that we have seen so far, like, everyone who has gathered in this place is a character that we've seen somewhere else before, except for, like, the new leaf people, if that makes sense. Like, there's nobody here that I'm like, they're from a completely different biome. If we look around, I know it's kind of hard because there is the ice cream zone. Like, there is, but we don't know if there's any leadership there or whether it's just...
The Candy Cane Queen or whatever.
Sorry, I just
What are we looking for?
I bit on the lozenge when I didn't mean to. I'm going back to when there were people.
Right. Because, like, yeah, when you look at... I mean, yeah, a lot of them were doll people, but then there was, like, the leaf people.
Yeah, like, there's no one here that's, like, vastly, like, you're an ice cream person and we haven't met you yet. Like, I'm not saying that they can't go to the ice cream zone, but, like, when you think about it, the only characters that we have seen around here that, like, look vastly kind of like they belong somewhere else, like, the toy people are here, even though they live in the red area. The mice are here, even though they seem to live in the island area.
Yeah.
And so, like, the little leaf people could live in the swamp, but, like, there's no one where I'm like, you're from Ice Cream Land. And, like, maybe Ice Cream Land people just don't come here, but, like, I wonder if it's...
Also, that, like, those, like, fireworks that spell danger in the sky are
they're so cool.
So funny.
But, yeah, like, I'm just wondering whether or not, like, Wonderland isn't that big as we thought. Like, there's no other leadership and there's no other citizens. Like, this, all of the people we are seeing are all of the people that there are. There are toy people, there are leaf people, and there are the mice.
Yeah. And unless there's people that don't move around as much that go way far.
But that's what I'm sort of thinking. I'm like, it seems like we're kind of running out of zones right now. And so I wonder, like, if the Red Prince is enough of an authority that he could, like, set a bounty on them and all of the citizens would listen and, like, participate in that. Because they are separated, but they can clearly travel through these areas. Yeah. And we see that there are toy soldiers all the way out here. So yeah, like, obviously there's the ice cream zone, like you guys are saying, like, there's Candyland and stuff, but, like, we haven't actually seen anyone who looks like they're from there yet. So, and, like, I guess maybe there's inanimate object land based off of the teapot lady, but yeah. Anyway, it's not really that important. The important part of what I'm saying is that I think that Neo is going to make it known throughout the population that they need to comply with her and get them Team RWBY or she'll kill them all. Wherever she ends up going doesn't really matter. But yeah, I think that she'll use the prince and use the other characters in order to execute that.
That would be, I would really like that. It kind of reminds me of a scene from a Batman movie movie where a remarkably similar thing occurs. But yeah, I know. I think that would add that extra layer of danger.
And that would be giving, like, Neo antagonist. Yes. And also it would mean that people are not welcoming to Team RWBY anymore.
Which is sensible, because it's like, it did kind of disturb the peace that seemed to be very present.
Exactly. And it's a nice callback to Salem going to all of the kingdoms and manipulating them to fight against the gods.
That's true, yeah.
That's, a very nice thing, too. So I think that's very plausible.
Girl bosses learning from girl bosses.
I think it's extremely likely that this is going to happen. Especially just because, like, RWBY has already caused havoc and mayhem. And, like, to restore order, it makes the most sense that they just get rid of Team RWBY. You know what I mean? Neo has more power. And I think that it would do a lot to showcase, like, that Neo is done taking orders from people. She is the one that is making the orders now. But yeah. Because there's really only the cloud bridge and that weird area with all the doors in the tree. And, like, we don't see anyone else in the OP either. Like, in that big collage where we see all the characters, we see Herb, we see the Metal Lady, we see the Prince, we see, like, all of, like, the rabbit, like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe there are secret characters.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like this is everyone. Like, we have met the cast, it sort of feels like.
No, I would agree.
Because, like, if there was an ice cream queen, why didn't they just put her with everyone else? Because they didn't try to keep the Metal Lady or Herb a secret. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if there were other ice cream people, like, we can still go to the ice cream zone. But, like, if there was an ice cream queen and she was, like, important, I feel like we would have seen her, because they show everyone on the entire journey until seemingly this episode.
Yes.
Happens, and that could be a choice, but I also...
And maybe they could be hiding stuff.
They could be hiding stuff, but I also wonder if that's, like...
But they also show Alex, and we haven't seen her yet. They also, like, they hint to Alex's companion, haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, yeah.
They also hint to Roman and all these people, haven't seen them yet. So I still think
exactly. Like, there's still stuff in the OP we haven't seen.
I'm not convinced that they would pull a fast one on it.
Oh, no, I know. But I'm saying, like, there's people in the OP we haven't seen yet, but there's no one in that collage we haven't seen yet now. You know what I mean? And so I don't see the point in hiding other important Wonderland characters, because they didn't hide anyone, like, so far.
Yes.
Like, even though Herb was, like, very much later down the line, and so was the Blacksmith, like, they didn't hide them at all. You know what I mean?
No, you're right.
Like, yeah, the Prince was in the trailer or whatever, like, and so the Prince was, like, early episodes, but, like, they didn't hide anyone in that giant collage at all. So I wonder... Yeah, I just wonder about that.
I think it's unlikely that they would add someone.
Yeah, like, if there's a white queen, they could have just thrown her in the collage and we would have met her later. Sort of thing, right? But yeah, and so I wonder if, like, that is going to be the play, is manipulating the highest order of power, and that's the
But part of me feels like it's not going to even be manipulating. She's just going to run in, like, kill the guy, take control, and then send the Jabberwalkers.
She could kill him, I guess.
That's what I think is most likely. Because that feels more Neo, more
But maybe the toy soldiers wouldn't listen without the Prince, though. She may still need the Prince to order them
I don't know.
around.
They seemed kind of cowardly at times.
That's true, but they also seemed loyal to the king, or the king that they once had.
Maybe. But then again, they were also frightened. They were loyal to him because they feared him. And I feel like Neo's a lot more frightening.
Maybe they would worship her after for getting rid of the person that was a tyrant to them. Maybe they'd actually be glad that the Prince is gone.
Potentially.
That could be kind of interesting.
I think that's my spin on it, that I think is more likely to occur.
Yeah, I mean, she could kill him. I like the idea that she's working with him, because then we can get this big scene where the Prince makes the announcement kind of at gunpoint, versus, because we need, like, even though we do need someone to talk for Neo to get this information to people. You know what I mean? Someone has to deliver the information. It could just be the soldiers, but, like, she needs someone to send this message. She cannot just do it herself because she can't talk. So maybe, like, even she could use the Prince and then kill him after he makes the
Killing him
announcement.
Seems more of like, Neo's modus operandi.
But you understand what I'm saying, Hunter.
Saying. Yes.
She can't just kill him without explaining in some capacity what she wants.
Yeah.
Because somebody has to tell the toy soldiers to go after Team RWBY in this scenario.
That's true, but she could also just kill him and then explain to it out. She could pull an Adam Taurus.
Right.
Kill your boss or kill the leader.
Basically, someone has to make the announcement is what I'm saying. Whether it's the king or the soldiers, someone has to do it.
What if Roman shows up and it's Roman who does the talking?
That'd be really funny.
I think that would be really good.
Actually,
I like that idea.
I think you're right, Hunter. I think that's the correct answer. I think that Roman comes in and he's the one
who does the talking, but Neo's in control.
You wouldn't even need the prince then. You would just make that announcement to the citizens. You would just do it in a public place.
Yeah. But I still like the idea of her having her castle. You know, her taking over a place. I find that
she can still take over, but like this entire thing hinged on like her needing the manpower to convince. And also,
part of me wants to see like RWBY Red Wedding, where Neo comes in and kills all pillages the villages and kills the royalty. I really like that.
But do you understand what I'm saying? In the sense that I was like, oh well, she needs the prince or she needs the soldiers,
voice, but like
because
with Roman,
needs to she needs someone to be the voice of what she wants. But if she has Roman, she doesn't even need to go to the prince. She just needs to stand in the center where Jinxie did the auction and have Roman be like, citizens of the ever after, if you want all of this mayhem to stop, yes, Team RWBY.
True.
Right?
That's true. But there's more like pizzazz with the taking over the castle.
Neo can copy other people's speaking abilities. That's interesting because the Jabberwocky talks.
Oh yeah.
And they're not real.
But it's not her talking.
It's the Jabberwocky.
That and her magic is changing. Her semblance is changing.
So maybe she could get Roman to talk.
Yeah.
Shit. I like that.
Good, full of good ideas.
I know, I like that. I just love, imagine next episode, all of the toys are like refugeeing to the Toyland. Even like the leaf people. They're all running back to the Toyland and out of the acre to get out of the Jabberwocky. And like Neo literally stands up with Roman and makes this announcement like, citizens of the ever after.
I feel like that's not going to happen. That would have to happen like episode
cliffhanger.
6. You know?
Next episode is episode 6.
Next episode is episode 5.
No, this is episode 5.
Sorry, it would happen like 7-ish because you need to introduce Roman. And I feel like you would need a distinct episode unless it's like, here's Dilf John. Here's what
would happen. Okay. At the end of the episode, we hear a voice explaining all this to the citizens, and we see the citizens crowding around, and we see the Jabberwockies slowly like creeping in on the citizens. But aren't you sad that
you would miss the scene?
No, hold on. So like you would see the Jabberwockies encroaching on the citizens, like surrounding them in the public square. You would see like, I don't know, maybe Jinxie is like holding his shit and he's like, what the fuck is going on? Right? And you hear the voice explaining like, you know, like you can have your peace again once you give us what we want. Like this is establishing the bounty that the citizens are going to go against Team RWBY. And we hear this voice talking and we're not sure who it is. And then we get the shot and we see Neo like sitting somewhere, right? She's sitting down on a throne or somewhere. She's sitting down here making this announcement, right? In the middle of the town to all of the toy people and all the leaf people and they're the ones that are causing all of these problems. Like, Team RWBY's the reason why your peace has been disturbed, okay? And then we see Neo, and it's like, oh, okay, we expected Neo to be here. And then the camera pans upwards, and we see Roman, and that's the cliffhanger. And that's it. That would be music.
I just want the scene where Neo's sitting, like, Conan the Barbarian
she's sitting on the
throne. But that's what I want.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, Jenner, what would you rate this episode?
I enjoyed.
This is very solid.
I think I enjoyed
really
this more than last week.
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard to compare, right? But
it's consistent. It's going steady. It's really solid.
This volume has been the most consistent in terms of quality.
I think
they're all above a 7. At least. Yeah,
I think it continues the kind of quality consistency that I think we've seen since volume 6.
Yeah, there hasn't been an episode where I'm like, this is bad. There were episodes in volume 8 where I was like,
really?
This episode's kind of bad, and nothing happened. Whereas this, I'm like, I feel like that, this is always happening. Yeah. Right? Not just because of the Cinder stuff. There was a couple episodes that were duds of volume 8, I think.
I disagree,
but I think that, all the quality's been super consistent so far, and I'm excited. I think next episode, we will get a little bit of, what was Jean doing? And that'll be Jean, not exposition per se, but just like Jean, like Team RWBY asking Jean questions and Jean answering them.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then I don't know where exactly they're going to go after that.
Well, that's the thing that I like about this volume is that it's so much more up in the air.
It's so hard to theorize, man.
And it's so much less predictable.
But yeah, I think that Neo thing is good. That's a good shit. I think it is.
Yeah, I like it. I like the idea.
And that ties back, interestingly, and I'm sure this is not a reference they intended to make, but in, sorry, I have the cough drop in my mouth.
How unprofessional.
In Frank Wildhorn's Wonderland, there is a song that the Mad Hatter gets where she says, the old Hatter is gone, but the hat must go on worn by me. Is that understood? And the rest of the song is about her rallying the people of Wonderland to fight the Red Queen, like the Queen of Hearts. And so, even though I'm sure they did not intend for that to happen,
is you're seeing something of a comparison between the two of what Neo might do.
Yeah, exactly. Or like, Neo is the Mad Hatter and RWBY's the Red Queen. Like, it's me or the Queen. Like, it's me or RWBY. And I am more powerful and will kill you, right? Because that's something like the Mad Hatter says in the song, basically. I can't remember exactly what it was, but like she's basically saying like, if you don't, my friend, well then in the end there will be nothing left to defend. Like if you don't join me, there will be nothing left for you to defend because I will destroy everything. Kind of vibes, right? And so I think that really works for Neo, and that would be very interesting. Also, the idea of the old Hatter is gone. Like, I love that because, like, we don't know if Neo's technically replaced anyone, but she could be the new Mad Hatter, right?
He's grumpy.
But yeah, I think that's it. I think they are going to show us, I think they're going to show us what happened to Jean a little, and then also tell us what happened with Jean, and yeah, we definitely need the clarification. But yeah, Dar, you just blew my mind. I didn't realize that Neo's fake Jabberwalkies were talking because her illusions never did that before. That was a big point in Roman Holiday, that she couldn't fool her father because she couldn't speak and her illusions couldn't speak. So it was obvious that it was her because they couldn't talk.
Yes.
But now they can talk. Oh shit, man.
I love that.
Ah, we're gonna see Roman torture. Okay. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream
this
and everything.
Very chaotic stream of ours.
You know, I thought it was good.
I really liked it as well, but it was chaotic. And that's part of why I enjoy it.
I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys had fun. And we will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.